What is going on, guys, and welcome here to Town Hall Heroes episode number 54. I am Solid Jake, and this is, of course, the Heroes of the Storm podcast, where we fill ourselves with lots of Blizzard apparel.
Whoop, did you say phrasing?
What did I say?
You filled yourself
Moving
with
on.
Blizzard apparel.
Yo, speaking of Blizzard apparel, let's talk about Manny Pacquiao's coach or whatever. I was like, oh man, wow, Blizz Heroes team is spot on for just to go ham on that topic real quick.
Real quick.
It's
I was like, man, Blizz Heroes team is really good at Photoshop. That looks
that was my
real.
first.
That's what I thought.
Then I watched the video and I was like, oh my god, that guy's actually standing there wearing just Blizz Heroes beanie and shirt. I was like, how much did they pay that man?
Yeah, it was cute. It was cute.
Well,
Well,
they're paying Jake right now.
Jeez.
all right, let's show this off. Overwatch, Tracer. This looks ridiculous, so we're gonna stop that.
Keep the scarf on though.
Wait, what scarf did you get? Did you get the heart?
I traded, so I have one. I have both heroes. I traded my
Oh,
hearts
come
ones away.
on!
So I got-
he's
got-
that guy.
I got
Yeah.
double heroes.
Seriously.
See, okay, so we got some
Wait.
swag bags at BlizzCon, but we'll
I
get
got
to that.
this.
We'll get to that when the
Not
time
BlizzCon.
comes. It's PAX East. I keep calling it BlizzCon, and I just cannot stop for the life of me. So, once again, this is episode 54, and this week we are joined once again by the illustrious Mr. CS Steve. He's joining us as a guest, but we'll get to him. Kubi, what's new with you?
I went to PAX.
Oh, yeah?
Along with yourself and
How was it?
this guy, Mr. Mateus. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty. It depends what you're going for. PAX is not for everybody, and I actually didn't go for the previous 2 years because it's not really for me. It's a very if you like indie games and you're going to check out the new stuff. I don't really follow the mainstream video game market so much. I like my Blizzard stuff and a couple
Hipster.
random games here and there. So
I'm sure.
so that said, going to see all the Blizz stuff, that was awesome. Going to meet all random Blizzard people here and there, fans, etc. Whatever. That's fun. That's exciting. Other than that, but I had a good time. I had a good time regardless.
That's good. That's good. Kevo, what's new with you?
Not too much. Was in Columbus this past weekend for an event. I had one of the most harrowing airplane adventures trying to get out of New York City. And then, so Thursday, I got all the way on the plane, got bumped up to first class. It's the first time this ever happened to me. We're on the plane. We're about to start going. The pilot is 20 minutes late. So we're sitting there waiting. We're de-icing the plane. Pilot walks on. We're just about to start going. And they're like, oh, yeah, guys, they closed down LGA. So we're just going to have to wait here until we figure out what we do. We wait there for half an extra hour. And then finally they're like, okay, so they closed down LGA. You all have to deplane. Then they still took another 30 minutes to cancel the flight. So you still have to wait there. Because if they decide not to cancel the flight, we have to go back on. And then they're like, and then I found out that apparently a plane decided that it just wanted to just go a little bit too far when it was landing. So that was the worst thing that's ever happened to me, ever.
Just casually decided to keep going. I don't feel like stopping today. Whoops.
It's just, it was a good thing though, because
I'm glad Corey caught on. By the way, that was awesome. Corey. Good work.
I got you.
it was good that nobody got hurt, but it just kind of sucked because if the pilot wasn't late. I've never had such a bad time with an airport. But anyway, yeah, that was a cool story, bro. But it's pretty much all it's new to me. Played a lot of Majora's Mask. That's about it.
Good game.
Dead game. CS Steve, what's new with you, my friend?
I was at PAX with you guys, so
Oh,
that was
wow.
fun. That's pretty much my thing. I don't know how far back do you want me to go? Just this weekend, because that's all I did.
Yeah, let's just go over the last week-ish.
Yeah.
In
We
general,
have-
what your projects are, I guess, that kind of stuff.
Been working on a whole bunch of stuff. I actually just finished the revamping of the free agent chat that we run, so that's fully automated now.
Nice.
Yeah, so when people decide to sign up, they can actually go on and they can put their information in and they can update it whenever they want. So that's pretty cool. If you like that up there, but it's a good time. And ESL is still going, Kings is going, all kinds of competition. We had the Fnatic AMA today. That was really cool. And now I'm here.
The
Wow, man.
the best part of that Fnatic AMA, I think you posted the link of that in Skype, was the who decides to go the most ham in every team fight, and Ace was like, I like to play safe, and then everybody else is Ace, 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 and Ace.
Yeah, that was really good. Give me a
really
little
good
chuckle at work.
organization from him.
Mr. Zoilof Anderson. Eggleston.
Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
So your name's Jared. My only other Jared friend is Jared Anderson, and I play Final Fantasy 14 with him. And since I just reinstalled Final Fantasy 14 on my computer, my brain slipped.
Rip, Jake. It's good knowing you.
Zoloff.
We brought up Final Fantasy 14. A real life buddy of mine and I just started playing it again. The expansion looks, I don't know, it was just a really hype trailer. So we're both kind of getting back into that. And also a bunch of my real life, I think I talked about last week, but my high school buddies that I used to play Smite with and Diablo with and stuff, they're finally into Heroes. And we're playing that like 4 to 5 hours every single night after Tempo Storm Scrims end. And we're like on the verge of like wanting to start entering into amateur cups and stuff. So that's, I don't know, that's been pretty cool to finally have like all my high school buddies and stuff into the game. Other than that, it's just been manager stuff and coach stuff. I haven't had a really busy week outside of those things.
That's good. Well, myself, very much the PAX life. Got to try Black Rock Mountain. Got to play a little bit of Overwatch. Beyond that, I pretty much just talked to Blizzard and Twitch people because, like Kubi, I'm not really into video games that aren't competitive, and the only other competitive titles that were there, Smite, not into it. Halo, I watched some Halo, that was fun, because I did like Halo back in the day. And Guild Wars 2, not my jam. And I think there was one more.
I heard Infinite
Evolve.
Crisis was there.
Not my jam either. So, beyond that, I mean, it just turned into just kind of like hanging out with Blizzard people and napping a lot during the day and then eating food that was terrible for me. So that was my PAX experience when it boils down to it. But beyond that, there was actually some Blizzard news. Who would have thought? Now, Black Rock Mountain, of course, we mentioned that. That's the new Hearthstone wig. Good, great. There's Hearthstone podcasts if you want to talk about that. We're going to play the crap out of it. Great. Overwatch?
Corey! I need a link
What? What? To what?
to the PAX Hero stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Overwatch had 2 new heroes, a new map, Gibraltar. I call it Gibralator, personally, but Gibraltar is the name of the map. And they've got Zarya and they've got McCree. That's what's going on.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I literally typed into Google PAX Hero stuff, and the first link was the recap. So
Thanks, Jared, for being so proactive.
there you go.
Thank you, Kubi.
Good, very good. But for heroes, well, we got pretty much what we expected. Now, what we received as an announcement is Sylvanas is the next hero to come out. Pretty much everyone assumed that after BlizzCon. And we also have Tomb of the Spider Queen. And just to start out the conversation, we're gonna go straight to Kev. What did you expect more? Are you satisfied with the amount of information we got?
Am I satisfied?
You've
Dude,
waited
like
the question.
you can't. Yeah, really, right? Where's Phoenix? Right? Objection, right? No, you can't do that. Anyway,
waited.
of course I'm not satisfied.
Oh, man.
We saw 3 different heroes announced at BlizzCon, and they also talked a lot about having Diablo themed maps too, like Heaven and Hell. And like Heaven and Hell had like a whole bunch of stuff. I think it was only concept only, but still I was kind of like upset that we didn't see any more about Heaven and Hell. We didn't see any more about the Butcher, the
Crusader, Skeleton King.
yeah, Crusader, Skeleton King, the Candlestick Maker, all of them. Like I didn't. Who's that? Kids rhyme something. The Butcher, the something, and the Candlestick Maker.
The
Anyway.
Butcher, the Baker, and the Candlestick Maker. Are you
There we go.
what? Where
There
did
we
you
go.
grow up? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in New Jersey. That explains everything. Anyway,
Yes. That
so
explains a
yeah,
lot.
I'm upset we didn't see anything about any of those at all.
No?
And I was really excited to like possibly have gone to PAX, but you know, of course, work was like, you know, we kind of need you, so I was like, all right, that's fine. And I didn't have tickets anyway. I was just gonna like see if I could just kind of sneak my way in there using my expert ninja skills. But I'm actually kind of glad I didn't go because it was literally Friday morning for half an hour, and then all of a sudden that was it. And they didn't even have like new stuff to play at the Heroes booth, so that was kind of really not wasn't really that excited. And everything else they announced was just like, yeah, it's still coming. You know, it's still on the way. We don't actually have anything to show.
Well, Kubi, as someone who attended, your opinion.
I did attend. How many heroes did they announce or talk about in depth at BlizzCon?
BlizzCon was at least Crusader, Sylvanas, and of course we had Jaina.
No. Okay,
Thrall,
no, it was Jaina Thrall. But they were playable in the build.
Lost
Vikings.
Yeah,
they talked about.
those are the three playable.
Sylvanas was the only other one that they actually showed anything for.
They showed Crusader. They showed.
They showed the models, but
it's still something.
That's very different. So I'm trying to get a comparison for who they talked about and who has been released within the time span between BlizzCon and now, right? And it's only been the heroes that were playable. It's kind of hard to compare. I was gonna say, they're probably trying to just take a step back, perhaps, and just grab information that's going to be coming out soon. They don't want to give us too much, but what is the next event that we're going to get information at? Likely,
I think it's Gamescom, right?
Which is when?
April.
I want to say
April. That's the one in
April.
EU, right?
Yeah,
Germany.
Even then, I wouldn't expect too much of Gamescom.
I mean, last Gamescom they did a sizable amount of stuff.
Was that
they,
ETC?
There was a lot of really
no.
No. There was a lot of really good developer interviews that came out. KO, I think that's his name, right?
KO.
KO.
He did a really cool interview then, I believe. It shed a lot of light into the game. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more stuff happening then. It's just kind of we'll see what happens as we go.
So, just making comparisons, last year at PAX East, they announced they showed the full kits for 4 heroes. That was Murky, Zagara, Lily, and Brightwing. Two of them were playable. That was the 2 supports, Brightwing and Lily. And then they showed the full kits of the other 2, Murky, Zagara. On top of that, they showed off Sylvanas, Chenstorm Stout, and Kael Thas. Of all that roster, all of them have come out, and we know Sylvanas is the last one to come out. This was last PAX East with those 7 heroes announced. I'm getting to that point.
Oh, sorry.
All 6 of the 7 have come out, and Kael Thas is the last one remaining. Does that signal, as far as we're concerned, as he's next on the list when we haven't seen a goddamn thing about him since the image at PAX East?
No, not really, because we're kind of in a situation where they had talked about Sylvanas last year, and we still haven't seen Sylvanas played yet. So I don't think it has
until this past weekend. Yeah,
right. But it's been a year. That's what I'm saying. So all the other heroes, yes, they were announced and then released within a certain amount of time. But just because they mentioned Kael Thas, it could be another Sylvanas treatment where it's we don't see this hero for another year. Who knows? I don't know. It has a lot to do with who's in the pool already, who's coming out soon, how does it balance the roles, all this stuff.
I also feel like it's a little unfair to go against last PAX when they kind of before that it was BlizzCon, they announced it, right? BlizzCon, they were like, yeah, here's the storm is happening. And then PAX, which was 4 months later, was just well, here's all the heroes we've been working on for the past number of months or whatever that we've been working on this project. Whereas at BlizzCon, BlizzCon, they showed off those 3 heroes, and then Lost Vikings was literally just released. And then I guess a month later or a couple weeks, about a month and a half later, it was when PAX East was, and obviously they've been chewing out all the stuff that they've been working on for those years, I guess, that they've been developing this game. So it's a little unfair for us, I guess, to really be, or at least for me. I mean, I know I was the one who went ham first. To expect that they should have a ton like they had last year, or that they would have at BlizzCon.
Good point.
But still, I expected to see a little bit more, at least a little bit more teaser stuff. They didn't really do much of that.
Okay.
I'm on the complete opposite side. I think this is exactly what I expected from PAX. The only thing that I was disappointed about was that Sylvanas wasn't playable, but everything else with the announcement, I wasn't expecting it to be this big unveiling or anything.
I think the reason that last PAX had so much was that was Alpha just started, and they had so much on their plate. And maybe they got our hopes up a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Because we saw 7 heroes, and we still don't have some of them a year later. So maybe they're just trying to remedy that moving forward. Because I can only imagine the number of angry Kael Thas threads that have been posted on the Blizzard forums since that unveilment. And Steve has made at least 40 of them alone.
Yeah. I've been waiting for him pretty hardcore. I don't know. the event itself, like the whole thing was. It wasn't a letdown for me overall, but there was definitely certain things that I wanted to see. Like the biggest thing out of everything was I wanted to see a dev build at the stations.
Yeah.
Oh, at
That
the
would be
the VIP
biggest
party?
thing for me too.
No, not even VIP, just anywhere, just anything. Like something to show that there's a new something coming out. Like at BlizzCon, we were able to play around with like the in-game AI, like the Kerrigan's Ultralisk, stuff like that, and
True.
here like we had like nothing, and like it's not like those things aren't being developed, like they do exist somewhere, so like that was the thing. But at the same time I was really happy too because they put out Heroes of the Dorm, which completely took me by surprise, and
Yeah.
looking back I probably shouldn't have been surprised about it, but it was something that I was just like, oh my god, like this is a lot of money and they're putting a lot of time into this game and people have been asking for it. Now obviously there was the whole debacle with the esports crew that exists already, and whatever, we can probably talk about that. But overall, it was a really cool thing to see, and I really liked that they did that. So that got me kind of like hyped up. But at the same time, when it comes to the actual in-game content, I was like, I wanted something like in my hands just at PAX that I could do. But no, it is what it is. So.
Well, you mentioned Heroes of the Dorm, and we can take a quick look at that now. Of course, TESPA is the collegiate esports league that Blizzard is partnered, or I'm not even. Do they own them, or I don't know if they're partnered or what?
I
But
want to say they own them now.
they probably do. And I mean, just plain and simple, it's a nice new league where you can win up to $450,000 for your team in tuition. So that's like the limit. But oh man, Champ 2, we just saw you in the trailer. So
Champ
esports.
He got multiple times in the trailer.
Oh my
I
goodness.
think the biggest thing about this too is how fast they're doing it. Like it's not something that's going to be dragged out for a long time. It's literally just, okay, you want some money, put a team together, let's go, like right now. Like this thing starts in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like it's go time.
If
And
you're
so,
not
like,
ready to go, if you can't put a team together in a few weeks, like you're not going to make it. And
Right.
it's happening really quickly. And the point I want to make, that why this is such a big deal, is they're putting a ton of money in a game that's still in beta, but this is a way to get into the beta, and B, a way to get more teams involved in the competitive scene. Look at that. Sign up now. We're going to click that. Takes us back to the website we're already on. So good. And you can register. But like you mentioned, Matt, it's March 28th to 29th. That's step 2. That's the online in-group stages through the open qualifier. So this is online group stage, and then it's a 64-team bracket. And then after that, ESPN finals. It's going to be televised. There's no date for the final broadcast, but
It's sick, man. Like, what it does to competitive scene, like, I want to, like, stress how impactful this is going to be. These kids are playing for so much money, and you know where they're going to be looking? Tempo Storm, Maelstrom, Vortex, EG. They're going to be looking at all these top teams in North America, watching Jake and Kubi cast every Tuesday and Thursday night, trying to learn these strategies, because none of these guys... I seriously doubt any of the teams are going to have any of the pro players on them. They're all going to be very new to the game, and they're going to be wanting to beat... They want to win this.
I
They're going
think...
to look at all the best teams.
Well, all right, I want to point this out. Mr. Chef has actually opened up a Heroes of the Dorm subreddit. He's currently a free agent, and he's a very talented player. He's a college student, so guys like him very, very well could put together squads in their school and go for this money. So I definitely think we'll see that. And at the same time, you have to look at people that are competitive in other games. So college students that are maybe a Challenger League in League of Legends, college students that may be StarCraft 2 professional players. This is a call to action for all of those kinds of people to put together squads and get involved in Heroes, and that's amazing. That's so good.
Yeah, there's pretty much no better opportunity that I can think of off the top of my head that's in such a short period of time. Like this sets up like I don't know what the name, I want to say Rudy, but it's not a Rudy story, where it's like, oh man, like I'm on the edge of not being able to pay for my tuition, like I need this one Hail Mary to get me back in, and like this is it.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually what...
This is a free ride through school if you win.
Yeah. Like movies are made off this stuff, and like this is real life. So it's
cool.
It's going to be really, really cool to see it all play out. Yeah.
So I'm super hyped about it. This is going to be awesome.
See, this is all right. So I really appreciate everything about it. I love college esports. I love everything about it, but I think it's a little bit weird because, and I was thinking about this for a really long time when I heard it announced, and then I had, plenty of time this weekend to think about it too. I went back and forth with a lot of people about it, and what's great is obviously yes, it gets more people into Heroes, it gets more collegiate esports and everything, and it's great, and I love everything about all of that. But at the same time, I think it puts a really weird pressure on students because it's like, I mean, yeah, it can only be a bonus, but at the same time, it's a little bit of a detriment too. Like if you're a sport, if you play sports and you go to a college for sports, you generally get some sort of what do you call it, grants and etc. As long as you're playing those sports.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to worry about that semester of school. If you quit the sports, then you have to worry. Start worrying about the ones after that. So you don't have to worry about the semesters in school that you're already playing sports. You just have to go do sports and do that. This is like the opposite. If you start doing poorly in the league and you're trying to bank on this, you're trying to make this happen so that the rest of your life is easier, it puts a lot more pressure on you to win these games and possibly detract from your schoolwork.
You're talking 1 month. 1 month where you have to buckle down and commit to this. If this was a league that spanned for like 3-4 months, I'd agree with you. But the time frame and how short it is, the commitment from the teams is more on practice than actual league commitment.
But that month, man, that month can be so pivotal in a lot of kids' college careers.
And they have to weigh their options, but it's...
Yeah, so let's put it this way. Life's not easy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, life's not easy.
Papa Steve coming in.
When you're in college, right? You're there, like you're doing stuff, and you have projects that you have to do, right? So, say one kid's really lazy. Do you think that the fact that this thing exists is going to stop him from going out and getting that A in his project? He's probably still not going to get the A anyways. He's going to just be lazy. Now he's just going to be doing something else. Do you think that like a really good student who's already doing extracurriculars isn't going to be able to carry that over here? Like there are kids that work full-time jobs while they're in college. There are kids that work full-time clubs that are in college. Like you said,
clubs.
Sports.
Sports.
Well, I mean,
clubs.
You bring up a really, I don't know about your point really, because I know a lot of kids who started off doing college really well, and then all of a sudden they got sucked into World of Warcraft raiding, and then they dropped out that semester. I know a lot of kids who were able to learn StarCraft Brood War, get like C- in terms of ICUP in like 3 months, and also do like 23 credits at Cornell. So yeah, it brings up a lot of, but something like this is a heavy enabler.
There's a few ways to look at it. You can look at it as an enabler. You can also look at it as like the push to get more collegiate scholarships, because collegiate scholarships are so far and few for esports, and that's something as we push esports to be a bigger thing. Notice ESPN has partnered with this. There is a big call to action to make esports a viable career. And having scholarships like you get for football and stuff is a big part of that. This is definitely a step towards that. This is Blizzard saying, look, we believe in that, and this is essentially the Blizzard scholarship, but the way you earn it, you win a tournament. It's a full ride through college. If I could buckle down for a month to play video games and get a full ride through college, are you...
Yeah.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I would take that in an instant. I don't care if it's an enabler.
I don't think it's a full ride, because if I did the math correctly, I think it's like
a lot of money.
Most colleges are around that price range, but
I can't believe we're like trying to like. I don't know. This could be bad. This is amazing. What?
Thank you.
It's great. I'm saying it's great. It's just, why not look at it, critically, especially when it comes into something that's dealing with kids doing well in school and the already bad connotation that kids have when they go to school. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I really do know a lot of kids who just started playing a lot of video games and started dropping grades hard.
As long as Blizzard makes money, that's fine.
People are going to be bad, and good people are going to do this and be good.
Like if they're not going to get distracted by this, they're going to get distracted by something else. There's so many different addictive things that can come out of nowhere that...
Like Cheetos? What if you come across a truck of Cheetos?
Look at Overwatch Bane.
Cheddar.
He ate a truck of Cheetos, and then now look at him.
Those don't have rewards at the end. You already start somebody who's got some sort of weak will or something like that, and you got a reward at the end. They're going to do it more often. Never mind.
Let's talk about those rewards.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, for me, it's like you go to college and you're already putting yourself you either have a full ride and then you can do whatever you want, but when you sign up for college, at least in America, you're pretty much signing your name to a debt bill. So
Yeah.
you already know that you're going in and like you have to have responsibilities. If you can't manage that, that's on you.
It's like buying a car that costs a ton of money and is absolutely not fun at all to drive.
I guess so.
These analogies are so bad.
I guess if you want to go
Jake,
there with that,
Jake,
but it's
what
like you can't. You gotta say, okay, like these kids. I'm not gonna call them kids. These people are
These nerds.
adults now. They're going to school. Like many of them are gonna be living on campus. They're gonna have to. They have to eat and find ways to feed themselves. Like they're not completely hopeless. They have to be able to manage their life, and if they can't do it here, then worst case scenario, it's a learning experience for them. Best case scenario, they get a free ride to college. I'm okay with it either way.
All right, let's take a look at these rewards.
I think best case for 5 people is a lot different than all the other kids who are going to sacrifice so much time into trying to get something like this, and they're going to get nothing out of it. Instead, they're going to spend a whole bunch of time. They could have been studying, they could have been working, they could have been making a lot of other money going into trying to play something like this. And not only that, but there's also... You can, but here's the thing. Have you ever gone to a school of sports? Because I know sports people, they immediately, like, coaches, captains, whatever of like most schools will not only put them in easier classes that they can just like get by, but they like coerce like massive amount of school organizations and administration.
Yeah, that
and
happens.
not only that, but you also have that college tuition already, or at least greatly paid for if you're really that good at sports.
Really quick. Jake, you're about to talk about the prize pool and then move on to something else?
We're just going to
Anyways,
continue through overviewing this topic.
So
Just other things to talk about.
CSL exists already, just for the record.
Yeah.
CSL exists already. TESPA exists already. Both of these things already exist where college kids are playing for much smaller prize pools than we have right now. And they're already putting in a ton of time. Now we're just giving them the same thing with a much bigger reward. And I don't see any difference there. So that's my last 2 cents.
Okay.
I'll buy that point. I'll buy that point.
All right, so the winning team, 5 players of the winning team will earn tuition for their college. The 4th-year students of the winning team can earn up to $25,000 to pay back college expenses. So retroactive money, you get $25,000. Top 4 teams do get epic gaming systems. You get these sweet rigs with that, which is pretty nice. And you get a headset, you get a mouse pad. You don't actually get a mouse. But you do get a pretty nice case, but something you can buy a mouse to use it with that sweet rig. So good luck on that. And then there are fantasy brackets, and of course that everyone can compete in. So if you actually partake in the fantasy brackets, which of course I will have dozens of them,
Asmo Dunk.
you get the Asmodee portrait in game, and you can actually win. The headsets. You can get a mouse pad. Again, you can't win a mouse.
Is that portrait different than one we can already get?
Wait,
Yeah.
top! I didn't even see this. Top prediction will receive $10,000. So you can also win $10,000 just for taking part in this. So that's something that anybody that's tuning into the broadcast can be part of.
That's gonna be rough.
Where do
How
you
do
see
you
this?
Trying to predict that
It's
bracket
right there.
is gonna be
It's on the
so
bottom.
tough.
I know it's gonna be.
Yeah,
gonna be
it's you're just
Because,
kind of
like
throwing.
you guys mentioned, a lot of the big teams probably aren't going to be
Right.
competing in this, and then it's like a lot of teams that haven't really
Oh, that
developed yet.
portrait's sick!
Yeah, it is. Oh,
Jared, calm
Jared
down.
just wanted to see the Asmodee portrait. Great. And of course, just for signing up to partake in this event, you get beta access. So every single player that signs their team up for the event will receive free beta access. You don't have to buy the Founders Pack. You just get access to the game. So it's another way to get into Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
So politics beside, it's a new gateway for free entry into Heroes of the Storm. Very cool, and it's a neat initiative. I'm actually very excited to see like what kind of effect it has on it, because they're putting a ton of money up. The fact that they're putting up to nearly $500,000, that's great, but you also have to consider that they're paying ESPN to broadcast this on television. It's going to be on television.
That part's awesome.
So
Da-da-da,
Actually, I should say most of it's awesome. I
Welcome
just
to
still have a
Video
few
Show.
couple of gripes with it. That's I'm
that's
not
fair.
saying that this
Yeah.
isn't awesome.
No, it's good to have different opinions for sure. So that's what's going on.
Quick
with,
match cheer league stats, right?
Yes, we're just going to continue moving forward with the PAX panel. So we can look at the like you said, the stats. They released a few stats about heroes. Jared, why don't you just jump in?
Yeah, so they released...
Not ready.
I just swapped back to the stream page, sorry. They released a bunch of stats at PAX about win rates in Quick Match and Hero League. In Quick Match, the top tier heroes were Vikings, Brightwing, Nazebo, Uther, and Rhaegar, all with the highest win rate, with Chen having the lowest win rate of any heroes, and they say that they're going to be buffing him soon because of it.
So, just real fluff. I got to sit down with Browder and talk to Browder a lot, just about opinions, and he was very candid. Like, well, not candid. He was very like open and like upfront about things. So I just brought up Chen. I'm like, so does this mean you guys are going to be bringing Panda Pals? I'm like, oh, excuse me, Storm, Earth, and Fire back to what it used to be. He's like, no, that was so stupid. Like, so they're not going to be bringing Panda Pals back to what it was, but they are in fact going to be buffing, giving Chen some kind of love. But they gave him the nerf bat when they nerfed him.
I mean, so yeah, that's what I'm kind of nervous about, because now, like, when EU for the last, like, swapping the meta discussion real quick, in EU for the last month and a half, maybe 2 months, we've been seeing Chen picked fairly regularly.
Yeah.
And he's had some result, and now we're starting to see that in the NA scene. And Chen's not OP, but
Barrel has its place. Barrel has its place.
He has an actual legit place, and I don't know. I like his place right now because it's really cool. It's really good at disengaging versus like a hard engaged.
But you're talking about top level players.
Yeah.
These are quick match stats. Yeah. So Chen, this is for the new player that's trying to have fun with this hero. You just spent 10,000 gold on this hero.
Wait,
and
still 10K?
No, man. Whatever you spent on him. Whatever you just spent on to get this cool looking panda dude, and you can't win a game with him for the life of you. Like, that's not fun. So competitive.
Did they say a number?
Yeah,
like
he has a very specific role in competitive. He's still not common in NA. He does fit in certain comps, sure, but still think he could use some love no matter how you look at him.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta look at like
Chen play yet to justify.
It's exactly like, look at Brood War. Like, there were so many strategies that would take years before they would come to surface.
True.
No balance changes.
Melee's the same way. So
I was gonna say Melee. I think is even a better example.
Probably because 12 years and the meta shifted how many times?
Yeah, because Fox was so
Fox
good
only.
Okay. So good.
Yeah, I mean,
all right, all right.
You win this round.
Well, I just hope they're not doing too like. You know, with Illidan, he was really bad and then buffed and then really bad and buffed and really bad, and then they reworked him.
Yeah,
and then
maybe
it took a while. I hope they don't rework right away, Chen, and they like just tweak him.
So you think the game needs more breathing room?
I don't think they'll rework him at all. I think the way that they built him right now, he's so iconic that they don't need to rework
Illidan?
him.
Yeah, no Chen.
No, Chen.
Oh, Chen. I don't think he needs a rework, but maybe his talent structure is.
That's what I'm saying. I just hope they don't rework his core
little...
kit.
Yeah, like everyone needs a little tweaking on their talent system in general.
Yeah.
So it'll just come with time.
All right, so highest win rates for quick match, those Vikings, Brightwing, Zebo, Uther, and Rhaegar. Lowest was Chen. But if we look at Hero League, it's a bit different. That's going to be Illidan, Rhaegar, Hammer, Vikings, and Tyrande at the top in Hero League.
Wait. What? Tell Tim who's at the bottom.
Oh, this little guy named Murky?
Who has the worst Murky? Is it Jake? Your Murky impression? Is Jake's the worst? Yep. Confirmed.
Yep. That's it. Nailed it. Am I the only one that's shocked? Like, I don't know. I'm going to say I'm shocked that Vikings is on both.
I agree.
As a high...
As a high win.
It's just people not knowing how to play against it.
Not
honestly.
shocked. Exactly.
Yeah. It's just like, they're so...
Top 5 hero in both?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
he's the highest win rate hero in quick match. Like,
well, all right. So just something to consider. He's got a barrier of entry. He costs 15,000 gold. A lot of people don't want to spend money on the game. So when it comes to quick match, the people that are spending that money on him are the people that can afford to spend the money on him, and they're a little bit more committed to the game. So that's definitely a variable considering how new of a hero he is.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true to take in. I don't know, but he's in both of them, and that just is like a little bit like, whoa, he's top 5 heroes for both quick match and Hero League. That's kind of crazy.
Let's put it this way: it's rare for me to see a Lost Vikings that is very impactful in either of these Hero League or quick match. So I'm finding it difficult to believe that they have that high of a win rate. But stats are stats.
Yeah, I think it's mostly them almost just not necessarily getting carried, but just because of the way that they can play, where like you just soak constantly.
Yeah.
It just allows more of margin of error for your team because you always have those people soaking. So like even though your Hero League or quick match teams are taking those 4v5s that you're like, please for the love of God stop taking, it's happening, but you're also still getting soaked. It's kind of like old school Abathur where you would just have him sitting in one lane and symbioting another one, and somehow, even though you're losing team fights, you're still ahead in levels.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Right.
it's not only that, but Vikings also win team fights with boats.
that's true.
Boat is
Boats,
good.
boat
Long
does-
boat.
boats is crazy stuff.
I'm not arguing
it's-
that
yeah.
Vikings is a bad hero. He's obviously been
no.
playing
Oh
a lot.
yeah,
He's
no,
doing
no, it's
well.
not. It's
I'm
not.
talking
I'm
about
not-
that's
I'm-
really
yeah. Talking for them to be in both, I can totally see that. Just because of it's a really weird hero. He can soak multiple lanes, and he can win team fights with like 3v5 with a boat, like a really
By
big
pressing
boat,
R and you don't have to do anything. It's R
and then
you just
singing
watch.
for a bit.
Aside from
Oh,
heroic,
oh, oh.
though, you could say a similar argument for Abathur, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
I know. Well, that's why we saw huge Abathur win rates in
That's
previous
true.
patches.
We definitely did.
Yeah.
Well, where is he now?
Huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Where is he now?
we actually see
Oh, yeah.
Vikings
Well,
on competitive
his
play. We don't have
heroic doesn't win.
Okay, I was saying though, aside from the heroic, but I mean, it still should be.
I mean,
pretty
the
Well,
old
the heroic is
Abathur-
kind of big there, Kubi.
yeah, it is. I'm not arguing that it's a big deal.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Well,
I
Vikings.
stand corrected. I agree with you guys.
All right.
You make good points.
Next
do it
topic.
with us, Mario.
Wait, hold on. Can I talk about real quick the one Hero League hero that like I can see it in terms of competitive, but something that I think is a little bit interesting considering there's a couple more that I would assume would be better against the masses
Okay.
with a little bit
Tyrande?
more training. Is Tyrande, yeah.
The
That's
No,
a pretty interesting thing. I mean, like, yes, she's a really strong hero. Hunter's Mark is amazing, Healing Ward, etc. She's got a lot of great things about her, but I didn't expect her to see her in the top 5 win rate of Hero League.
Don't doubt that Hunter Smart, man. 25% extra
think
damage.
That's all
is-
so much.
So
damage.
That is
I
huge.
thought about that too a lot when they first released the list, and I think what it is we always see Illidan, Nova, like we always see the damage dealers, right? Those are in almost every match. So chances are their actual numbers are going to end up balancing out pretty well. It'll be 50-50-ish. But you don't always see Tyrande, and you usually only see Tyrande from people who aren't terrible with her.
True.
So I'm guessing that kind of skews the numbers up, even if it's just a couple of percent
Good point.
above the other ones. I think that's why we see it more on that list because if we looked at it, like how many wins to losses they had, then you could kind of glean a little bit more information. But with just like this raw list, we're like,
And
Right.
that's for a similar argument. Could we try to extrapolate the cost of these heroes into it? I mean, we talked a little bit about.
You could do that too. Yeah, you could do that too.
I don't think she's very much. She might be 4K.
I don't think that
G7K.
would.
I don't think
I don't
that
think
affects
that
her.
would factor into. Well, I mean,
She's
it
not a
kind
new
of factors
hero,
in, but
so-
kind of factors into Hero League because at that point you have to have that many heroes, right?
Right,
Right.
right. You have
I
to
think
purchase them.
It factors into hero. It doesn't really factor into quick match. For Tyrande, I don't think it's an issue.
I don't either.
Okay.
Because she's
for,
not new.
For the other ones, yeah. For like the 10Ks, you could possibly make that argument.
Right.
And that it'd be
But
hard to do.
I think the current state of Tyrande and like the current builds that we see and just kind of like the positioning or just the status of the Healing Ward makes her so good. Like Healing Ward was bad for a while and then Tyrande wasn't really nearly as popular, but once it's back it raises that hero tier list quite a bit. Like Tassadar was already good, but with a good Healing Ward he's amazing. Same, and Tyrande kind of fits in that same kind of role where she dishes out a ton of damage but also provides a ton of sustain. So
you're saying Rhaegar's a god.
obviously, I mean,
It's been good. It's been good.
Level 1 dog throws down ward.
all right, talk about this map.
Whoa,
Okay,
easy.
All right, here.
He's excited.
This map
It
looks
is
sick,
pretty
man.
exciting.
Look how small it is. There's gonna be so many fights on it.
That's what
Oh,
I'm excited about.
it's so different from what we're used to seeing. Every map's gotten bigger and bigger. You went from Garden's Hair to Sky Temple. It's just like, wow, there's so much space. But this map's like, oh, it's so small. Oh, God.
Very excited.
It's the steps of war of the hero scene.
it really is.
Yeah, you're right.
And there's some cool things that I want to like point out, and I guess we should probably pull up that video. I know they definitely have a video of this.
They do.
Um,
There's one right below it.
Yes, so let me just scroll down and let's just pull that up. And
We
So
talk
in
about how incredibly strong, like long range but not too long of range heroes are going to be, like Sergeant Hammer, Illidan's Hunt. Just going to be like, oh, you're on this point of the map. I can reach there no matter where I am.
There was a screenshot they showed at the panel where I swear a Stitch's hook will reach from one lane to another.
Dude.
And I was just like, okay, that's gonna be a thing. So I'm waiting for that. And part of me also wants to say that like Thrall I always call it cataclysm, which is not the
Sundering.
correct thing.
Sundering.
Like Thrall Sundering can hit from like across the way as well. So like, I don't know. It seems like there might be some neat things. Are you pausing for a reason?
I
or
am.
is it just
I am.
stuttering?
I want to talk about the layout on the map real quick.
Okay.
So
Go.
as we can look at this, we can see these eggs, and I'm pretty sure that's where the spider queens actually spawn. Pretty much what from we understood in the panel, you collect gems and you turn them into these sacks, I guess.
You turn them into multiple locations across the map. So I think it sounded like there was at least 3, if not more, locations that you could turn them in. So it's not like Black Hearts. You don't have to like run to the actual objective and turn them in. But it's a pretty outrageous layout because they're
Truly outrageous.
Yes.
Yeah, gems.
Subconscious.
Gems are truly outrageous.
So yeah, I mean
They
they
are
talked
true.
about that, and then they said once you summon it, you get a spider queen in each lane, which is really neat. Which will summon those little Spidey guys.
Yeah, so those aren't actually the minions. Those are the Spidey Bros.
Right, those are the chilling like little
Spidey
the
Bros.
insects guys. Yeah, they so like the spider queens, they come out, they summon them, and like those act basically as roaches. They run forward and they tank tower shots. You know, wasn't
It
able to
looks so
confirm
cool.
if it. Yeah, it does. I wasn't able to confirm if it repeats that process, like it acts as kind of a swarm host type thing.
That's interesting.
But if it does, then that would mean you get a crazy amount of pressure, and it's not the first time we've seen it, aka siege giants. So it'll be interesting to see.
Look at those gems. Truly
So-
outrageous.
They're so hopeful.
Wait, so the gems, they drop off the minions. So these,
Yeah, they drop off of everything.
so these are the normal minions. They drop gems. The normal minions are actually spiders, from what it looks like. Yeah. So
I hear if you look into a mirror and say gems.
yeah. So
2 times,
each basic wave comes with 3
Terrible.
spiders. So they've replaced the back 3 with Spider Bros,
Yeah.
So they're
and they spit.
unbelievably terrifying.
All right.
People
Look
who
at
don't
this. Look at this on the right. Hopefully I can pause it late enough. Yes.
Look at that little merc camp.
That's the thing. Look at how tight that merc camp is. So if you want to take these bruisers, the door is this little tiny thing, and you.
Yeah,
Jake,
so
I
the door
want
is
you-
really small and tight.
Jake, I want you to never change. You truly are a gem.
Thanks, guys.
God.
But it's so risky to go in these kind of situations, and it makes it interesting for heroes like Falstad that can dive through walls. Maybe they will be a little bit more powerful on this map. Maybe having heroic leap is the thing that you need. Having all these like close walls where being able to cross over lanes. What is so funny?
Jake, you're just the worst, man.
Watch Archer. You ever watch Archer?
Amazing.
Crazy.
I don't know what I said.
It's okay, we'll make it through. Did they end up showing the boss on the thing? I didn't remember. Because the boss room is really
Yo,
cool.
those bruisers are actually
Yeah, I don't think they
terrifying.
do.
Can I zoom? I don't think I can zoom.
Okay, so the boss one was at BlizzCon, and it was in a room secluded by itself, and you had to like, sort of like that, where you had to walk through the fog to get in. But it's like, you know, the generic slam size of a boss. It's basically like 2 of those. That's the amount of the room you have in there. So you go in there, you're looking for a fight, and it's gonna be good. With
Yeah.
how small the map is, like we see the current meta right now, where you know either one person will bait something on the opposite side of the map, or they'll put like merc pressure on one side of the map and then go up and take boss. Not sure you're even gonna be able to do that anymore with just how tight the map is. So we'll see what happens. Got him.
Yeah, I'm really-
Did they
So-
say how or what triggers the boss though?
No, I don't think so.
What do you mean?
No.
Because it looked. I mean, I remember at BlizzCon, it looked like. Is it a completely enclosed area? Like, did you get
No,
teleported
well,
to it, or?
It at BlizzCon it was definitely in its own room, and they
Yeah.
had people like teleporting in, but I think it was just a
Kind of like
like,
the mines.
kind of yeah, mines type thing where like you click it and you go in. So
Yeah.
once
you have to commit to
once you're
entering.
committed, you're committed.
That's
You're in there.
interesting.
Uh,
So the throw pit is actually going to be a throw pit.
yeah, it's actually just a room of death. It's
Oh, good.
scary.
As long as it's not full of spiders, we're good.
That seems really.
Which-
yeah.
So-
Like the map is.
Fine. Oh man, if you combine that with Sylvanas' ult, the silence, you
Oh.
literally just silence the room.
Oh, God. Well, that's a good
that was-
segue, Matthew. Jared, final thoughts? You were going to say something?
Oh no, the map is just so like cool and sorry, my pen is distracting me. Corey, can you hold it for me, please?
Sure can. Hold on a second. Got it. Yeah, thanks, bro.
Thanks, Corey. You're just
Of course, you guys had to do that.
this is the worst thing. Yeah, it's a cool map. I'm excited for it. Man.
Great. All right, let's take a look at this gal. Oh,
Ooh, hello.
Whoop. Which girl?
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl.
I was once a far strider.
So Sylvanas looks really interesting, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about her.
it's gonna be pretty okay.
I mean, I like her. I like a lot of the stuff they're doing with her. They're taking a pretty big risk in her passive, I think. It's actually just a game-changing thing, and I'm not sure how it's gonna play out, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a lot of things that she can do. She's got like stun, ranged attack ability. She can disable towers. She seems to be pretty good in team fights.
She has escape. And she has a
Yeah,
nice
she can
belly
really
button.
she can really control the flow of the game. She can, you know, mind control, all kinds of goodies. I want to
Yeah.
know what the level 20 mind control is. Like, that's what I really want.
Grave Golem.
Level 10 seems like
Everything you mind control
Okay.
turns into a Grave Golem.
Oh god.
that would be actually terrifying. Oh my goodness.
Please, let's not.
I would expect the level like we're gonna figure it out. I expect the level 20 version to just be charges of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get like
Well, I
two
think-
charges or something.
Or charges, or maybe you can mind control things like Water Elemental and Ultralisk.
True. Yeah, we talked about that.
That'd be cool.
But we can talk about this later if you want to go over the actual abilities first.
Yeah, let's just take a look at the abilities now. Matt, why don't you explain the Q?
Okay, so the Q, the way that it works, you can see it here. It's firing as she runs away, and you're like, wait, how could she attack? The way it works is as she kills minions, she gets stacks that will stack up on her Q, and every time you press Q, it will shoot out, or it'll create a clone that shoots an arrow to the closest target, or I don't know if it's closest. It's an area.
It's
effect,
homing.
and-
Yeah.
it homes in, and whatever. It looks like whatever's closest it'll hit. As you can see, the Murky runs up, and it stops shooting the tower, and it goes to him instead. And now that's on every single press of the Q, so it's not just like you can't just hit Q and let it go. You actually have to spam Q if you want to use it. And like I said, you get stacks based off of all the minions you kill, so very similar to soul stacks from Diablo.
And the maximum is 6, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think that's that's what it sounded like. We didn't get any hard stats that I know of, but yeah. And
Alright,
you can
so-
see her trait in action there too on the tower.
Yep, that's when you see a target get black, that's her trait going into effect. The W, that's Shadow Dagger. From what we understand, it passes between targets. So you throw it on one, it will then transfer to targets nearby. It's damage over time, so it's strictly a dot. It looks like it explodes if the target dies, but I think that's just kind of the effect of the game. But it's really just a dot.
It's really cool because a lot of other games will use this kind of thing, and the target you put it on needs to die. Very similar to Malzahar in League of Legends. But they don't have to die here. You literally just throw it, and as long as they're near you, boom, like it's gonna do a ton of damage. So,
Strong wave
That-
clear.
yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, it's her her push power is going to be ridiculous between
Yes.
being able to lock down towers and minions, and then she has this.
It'll be interesting to see what the damage scaling actually is in game, because if it's really strong, then AoE comps might become a little bit fun to run in competitive play. So, we'll see what happens.
All right, well, moving on to her E. That is, of course, her escape, and it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay. She actually sends this clone out in front of her, and then she can teleport to it. So there's a brief period of time in which she cannot cast it, but once it reaches the destination which she wants, she will teleport to it. Really fast, really mobile with that ability.
And like you said, there's a downtime on cast and there's a downtime on recast. So it's not like a Zeratul blink. It has a little bit of delay between each cast.
Yep.
So
And
definitely has a little bit of skill cap there.
you'll notice that she actually talents it to stealth on the second time she uses it here. So as soon as she casts it, she goes invisible. So she's like less vulnerable, and then she's invisible after using it. We don't know how long that lasts, but it's definitely a talent pickup because we only see that in the one instance.
Right. And I guess one last thing, that Dustin stressed a lot when he was talking about this, you can be damaged while you're going away. So during the Diablo one that you'll see, she can be hit, she can be stunned. That's something that you have to take into precaution when you're doing this. So if you're fighting an Uther and you want to go away, he's just gonna be like, yeah, no, and just stun you, and you won't be able to use your ability. So, a little bit of skill cap on that ability. It's really cool.
A little less intuitive in terms of just like being able to use it right off the bat. Someone asked, what exactly does the talent do? And you see how it's very black here. The what does her trait actually do? Her trait disables structures and minions. So the fact that that tower is black, that means that she literally shuts it off while she's auto-attacking. I think it's like 1 second after each attack, but if you continuously auto-attack it, you will keep that turret locked down. So it's a very powerful trait.
Yep. It's basically a single target curse.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So moving on to her first heroic, the one that I think we're all very excited for. It is Wailing Arrow, and this is a AoE ranged silence that you can activate. So you'll see the Ravenous Spirit goes out, and she just shuts it up. It does a lot of damage, not a lot. I think it does a decent amount, around 250.
It doesn't even need to do damage. I don't care how if it does 0 damage. I don't care if it healed just a little bit. A ranged silence.
AoE silence that you can activate. You can activate at any point in the cast. You don't have to perfectly get the distance. They can't move because you can activate reactionarily.
Yeah, it's real good. It'll also detonate at the end of its path.
Yes.
Yeah, regardless of whether you die or I don't know about die, but like
if you get stunned out.
It still goes off.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's
I think a really cool thing about this is we're seeing a silence coming into the game.
Finally,
which opens up a new CC.
Yeah, and this opens up scary opportunities for like Metamorphosis. You want your Illidan to be perfectly safe. What's gonna do that? This
we have silences already. They're not new to the game.
Yeah.
Illidan used to have a silence, and we have Twilight Dream. So
yeah, but there's still far and few.
This is a much safer silence from anything we've seen today. And this pairing this with so all right. First off, people have been saying it's like a 2.5 second silence. I heard it was 4 seconds at
4 seconds.
Yeah, at PAX. So it's somewhere between those. I don't actually know.
That's a big difference.
That's
a big difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried real hard to confirm, and I didn't get anything. But either way,
I thought at the panel they said 4 seconds. I'm pretty certain they said 4 seconds.
They also said that the E slowed, which we're not really sure if that's true or not.
That's true. That's true.
You have to be talking about different builds.
Right.
There's no way 4 seconds.
Internally, they change the game constantly. So they could have misspoke.
But either way, I mean, we're looking at setups for even if it's only 1 second, that's enough time for Malf to get in and drop a Twilight Dream on top of it. This ability opens up so much play. It's going to be really fun to see. And unless her damage and literally everything else is just in the ground, awful, I don't see a reason why she wouldn't be constantly picked or banned. It's exciting.
I mean, I think when Dustin opened up the panel, he said something to the extent of, she is categorized as a specialist, but I think they labeled
sneaky evil.
Yeah, sneaky evil. but they definitely called her like a something specialist, like a
he said she was a mix between assassin and specialist.
Because she hits so hard. They're just straight off the bat, they're just she hits really hard. But okay, her other heroic is her final ability. You got a comment to say?
Sense to anybody that she's an assassin specialist who can push lanes, who can take over entire creep waves, do all that. That just, to me, it just sounds a little bit like she's doing too many roles at once.
Yeah. So to preface what Jake just said, when Dustin said that, he also gave a little bit of extra information, saying that the initial design of it or of her is that they wanted her to feel like she has presence on the map when you do that split pushing. So if you're gonna stick your Sylvanas in, say, bottom lane of Blackhearts, it should feel like somebody has to go out there and just bop her on the head and be like, no, you're not allowed to do this.
Yeah.
And if you leave her alone in lane, then you're gonna start losing a lot of stuff. So get your act together. And I think that's the idea. I don't know if that means that they're gonna take the same approach that they did with Hammer, where she gets additional damage on buildings, or if they're just flat hard damage numbers. Yeah, the disable is crazy. I think they'll iterate through her a couple of times. Probably accidentally nerf her twice. We'll see what happens.
She's gonna be a top tier assassin, straight up.
Yeah. She'll be up there.
Top tier, just pick.
Yeah, she's gonna be pick banned so frequently if she's released with what we're seeing, with even a 2.5 second stun.
Right,
it's huge.
Silence, but yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. All right, let's look at the final heroic.
Wait, before we start that, there's a huge thing that you guys glossed over. There's now a silence, like, emblem over your head when you get
Yeah,
silenced.
that's actually like why I was just like, oh man, I've never seen a silence before. That's what like why I thought that.
I
Before.
feel like that was
Just
in the
how-
game at one point, but then got removed.
I don't ever remember.
It
I don't
was when
remember that.
Illidan. When Illidan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah, when Illidan did it, you're right.
Didn't you have a special symbol though? It wasn't like the white little.
No, it was like
no,
the same.
he had the mark of Azeroth over him.
Oh,
if you want
I
him,
thought so.
but
Yes.
The silence.
It just looked so
also-
familiar to me, but
See,
okay.
Illidan was my thing, and they ruined him, and it made me so sad.
And then Nova was your thing, and
And then they ruined her. I
Made
need
you
to
so
just stop
sad.
playing the games. So that Assassin's
No,
Don't
no,
play
you can't even
Sylvanas.
play. What?
Don't play Sylvanas, please. Can't have that. All right. So the last one is possession, where Sylvanas can take over catapults, minions, whatever. And from what we understand, it actually changes the cooldown depending on the size of the target you get. So if you grab a giant, it's gonna be take a little bit more of your cooldown. But if you just grab a catapult, maybe not so much. Now the interesting thing is the synergy that you actually do get with her other abilities. So this giant gets a promote. I don't know the exact buff it gets, but it's a promote. And then she locks down the second giant, and she's able to power through it. So it's pretty cool.
I think they said it was a 30% damage buff, so a little bit under
An actual
Merc
promote.
Lord. But to touch on what you said about size, it's health pool size that changes the cooldown. So
Health
giants
size.
obviously have gigantic health pools, catapults don't. So it seems like you could get maybe 1 out of every 2 catapults on your side if you want, which, if you think about it, that's pretty sizable late game, but you're giving up a gigantic silence. Like, who's going to take this ult? I don't know.
It'll be fun for push comps on like solo queue.
Yeah.
Competitive, it's going to be unheard of. Unless
Yeah.
the level 20, like you guys were saying earlier, is something that's actually
It's just like-
insane.
Yeah, just ridiculous. You can like temporarily mind control an enemy hero. That would be a thing.
Yes.
Or you could like use it to disable an enemy hero for X amount of time. I don't know. It needs something absurd to make it work at level 20.
Until we see actual stuff, it's all speculation. She looks cool. But
Right.
Until we get those numbers, man, who knows?
All right.
We were hoping to see him. That's okay. Next time.
Next time. Just cruising through the rest of this post. This is the new score screen at the end of the game. This is what you will end up seeing. And I guess the one controversial thing to look at here is Stimpack bonus for rank points.
Which they already came out and said is not true.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they already came out. They're just like, yep, nope, that was a mistake. We're sorry.
Yeah.
Good to confirm that though, because a lot of people don't.
That Jaina has so much gold.
Well, no, that's actually not the Jaina. That's
Rhaegar.
Oh, that Rhaegar has so much
Get
gold.
with it.
but actually that's just the portrait of the Rhaegar.
Who has the gold?
Show me the gold at.
Who has the gold?
It's Sparkle Pony's gold.
Looks like a Final Fantasy game. Like when you're at the end of the game, you're just doing 99999 damage.
Sparkle Pony's
Pretty
gold.
much.
Okay, this is the actual new UI they put out. It looks so much better.
Yeah, it looks sick.
So
Stat
It
screen
says,
outside a game.
I think they said
Summary. Yep. And then this
yeah.
is the stats. This is the stats tab.
I feel like they said that they got rid of the CC duration or something.
Huh.
They were talking about one of those things at the Twitch thing, not the initial panel, but the one that they did on the Twitch stage.
I see.
And
Whoa.
I didn't actually get to watch that.
Hold on a
Yeah.
second. A 10-minute game with 32 kills on one side and 27
right.
on the other? What?
It's a mock-up,
happened?
Jared. It's a mock-up.
all right,
Whoa.
one, it's a mock-up. Two, none of the numbers make sense at all.
953 seconds.
I
of
just
stun.
saw the score at the time and I was like, how? What
Also,
happened?
a 10-minute game with 953 seconds of CC is
Stunning.
That's not a fun game.
Yeah.
He
It's
had
not a fun
constantly
game.
Talent at 7.
constantly
Okay,
stunning
I
everything.
didn't actually look in depth at the picture. I just glanced and was like, no. no.
Yeah,
This
pretty
is
much.
wrong.
They
Nope.
went so overboard that it's like, yeah, don't believe this.
All right, so the other thing to point out is just talents. If you want to go back and see what talents were running that game, like how did that Illidan kick my butt so hard, like in that previous game?
Kick my butt.
Right,
my butt.
I caught. I can't handle it. I can't do it today. I just can't do it.
Hell, it's
So-
gonna kick my butt so hard.
So right now, Jake, you would click the GG button. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, yep.
It's over.
I'm done. What is that? Does it like send? Does it send like
It sends GG to the enemy team. That's...
You should have to pay the enemy team 100 gold each when you GD them because
Yeah, that'll.
I know.
That'll go
No,
over
that's
well.
not a good idea. But it is cool. It's a cool idea. We'll see what that actually is. I assume it just sends them a nice little greeting message about GG. But the talent tab, I can't stress enough at like how good that is, especially just as like a streamer. Because when I stream, I try to be really educational. And when I have a game, I can like go back and now I can just like literally just pull up this talent tab and like talk about like what they did between my games. And also, if you're trying to learn the game, this is a huge tool to help learn the game. Like, okay, well the enemy team had a Malfurion, they out-healed me by this much. Maybe I should try their build. What was their build? Okay, cool. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
So
Definitely something that a lot of people have been asking for. So happy about that. And now we don't have to go to a third-party site to see it. Hooray!
hot dogs. Okay, just quickly looking at Team League. Team League was announced that it is just I think it's coming in the next patch. I don't know if they said that for sure.
What
It says
interesting
it's
names
coming
for
soon.
teams that they decided to advertise this
Puppy
with.
Crushers.
Puppy Crushers.
Synthetic.
The first thing that like everybody in the audience started saying was like, "Wow, that team's got a really good win rate with rank 24."
Yeah. Elite.
Okay.
Again, these are mock-ups.
Yeah.
These are mock-ups.
Mock-ups with elite amount of kills, and the answer to life, the universe, and everything is their losses.
But it's cool that you have the roster. It's really interesting that they're like, again, it's a mock-up, so it's really kind of confusing seeing that they're in the shop and it shows Team League. So I'm not sure what
Yeah.
that's about, but
Didn't Synthetic disband anyway?
yeah, they did.
Awful.
Meta jokes.
Awful.
And then last but not least is just the Heroes of the Dorm, which we talked about. So I guess that covers pretty much all the news from
You can
PAX.
you can mute everyone in clans and stuff. Come on.
Oh,
man.
clans.
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 Hype. Too bad they didn't say anything about it.
They just said it's coming.
Yeah, they're like,
And they
hey,
talked
here's
about-
the thing.
They talked
Good hype, see you
about
later.
chat channels.
Yeah, chat channels, clans. More gold for everybody, so we're all going to be getting like 10,000 gold
10.
soon.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Or
Retroactive.
5,000? I don't remember.
10. It comes out to be 10, I think.
Yeah, 10, 10,
Oh.
10, 20.
Then the
Wait.
hero levels go up as well.
Yeah, the heroes levels of 20. That was
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the only difference at 20 is you get like 2,500 gold if you hit level 20 on that hero.
They should just like go the Paragon system with it. Like, how cool would it be like if your Tyrande was like Paragon level 237? Just show how much you play Tyrande to all these other people. That would be so much cooler than like, well, we're increasing it to 20 and you get gold.
Jared, I'm 10,000% in agreement. Because the amount of gold you get for a level 20 hero,
100%.
10,000% in agreement. The amount of gold you get at level 20 is, for the amount of work you put in, you get like 2,500 gold. At that point, you're just like, you don't care about gold. It's nice, but Paragon system, I'd much rather
Mike's
say
calling me out.
I'm a level
Mike's-
49 Tyrande, and it took me, I have 600 games played. That's awesome.
Glaurung's calling me out. That was so Undeer's idea, just to throw it out there.
Damn, you got thrown under that bus so quickly.
Not my original content.
Stealing his team's strats and ideas and unveiling them.
Oh, I didn't know Josh stole ideas from Diablo 3. That's...
Whoa! Snap, this
You guys are
show's
too
getting
esports
dirty.
right now.
This
Um,
show's getting dirty.
We didn't have enough shots fired today. We
yeah,
needed a couple.
we
Oh,
need
we're
to
getting
bring
there.
we need to bring Bobby
Oh,
back.
we're
getting
getting there.
there.
We're getting
We're
to
getting
the
there.
shots
Don't worry.
fired.
We got
But
some
no, I mean, oh yeah, we will. I think yeah, that's a really good point. Is that all right? So if it takes about 100 games to get to level 10, give or take, on heroes right now, another what? I would assume maybe 200-300 games to get to level 20. They said it was going to be like a lot harder to get to level 20.
Right. I think it's about 70 games to get to 10, so maybe
What are
around
we adding?
150 to
Yeah,
get.
Like,
it'll be like
It would be like what, 5 gold extra a game to get to level 20?
Yeah.
If
something like
that?
that. Yeah, it's something.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's that much of a reward.
It's a
but
step in the right direction because
It is.
more
Yeah.
progression, but I think there are better ways.
I
Yeah.
swear to God, if they take away my golden outline on Diablo, because they're now going to put that at level 20, oh, we're going to have some problems,
Wait,
sir.
The way they did it in Smite was you had your normal portrait, your golden portrait, and then you got a diamond portrait at max level. Whoa!
Well, sick.
Well, here's the issue: is that I wonder if it's gonna run into the same issue as StarCraft 2, where the platinum, the diamond, and the masters all look like I don't know what rank I am, but it's somewhere.
Silver and platinum were like so. It was like
They fix it eventually. They fix it eventually.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You know what? Whatever. More grinding. I don't care. I can actually play games on Diablo again without just being like, well, I shouldn't kill everybody, but.
No, it'll be nice though, because like you said, I go out of my way to play Hammer on Hero League as much as I can because she's 9, whereas all the other heroes I like to play are already 10. So.
You mean Rhaegar and Brightwing?
I have like 9 10s, dude.
You only play 2 heroes.
It's not true.
Got you, boy.
Okay. Malfurion's my most played hero.
Yeah, but you still got him. It's over.
Facts.
You, man.
GG.
That's
Done.
how this works. See, we talked about this.
It's actually super funny because
got
whenever people stream snipe me, they'll steal Rhaegar because of how much I play Rhaegar now. Like people will actually snipe Rhaegar every chance they get, and they'll just come into my chat and be like, "I took Rhaegar from you." It's like, great, thank you. You're.
How many of your viewers are that low ranked?
Damn.
Oh!
Wow.
Got him again.
Rack 'em and stack 'em.
So, fun fact: today I was 5 points away from rank 1.
Oh, you're almost there, man. I believe in you.
5 points. Of course, we lost that game.
Rip.
So now I'm like
It's
2
like
games away,
700
two or three
It's
games
okay.
away from rank 1. But all right, next thing on the list is the Blizzard Stream Awards, powered by Twitch TV. This is something they did last year, where Twitch puts out all these rewards. They provide analytics to Blizzard of a lot of their Twitch partners that stream Blizzard games primarily. So they take a look at Diablo, Hearthstone, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, and Heroes of the Storm, and they look at all their partners that stream those games, and then they shoot these stats to Twitch or to Blizzard. Blizzard then makes polls where you can vote for your favorite streamers and or groups. Now, with that, there's a few categories. You can go to overall favorite streamer, and you can actually see. Whoa, that's a great guy right there. Oh,
You highlight the other one. You highlight it now. Thank you.
That's not the right one. That's not Soldier. What are you doing?
so there's a lot of talented guys on this list, and again, you can vote for this. The crazy thing is, like, yeah, you could say this is just a popularity contest, but every category, it's the year 2014. The winner gets $2,014. So Twitch is putting up $113,700 in prizing for this. You can go to most educational streamer. I'm not on this list. Clearly, I'm not educational.
Can we talk about the money real quick? Because I don't understand the
Sowandir's
math.
on that list. No, I've seen his stream before. Sowandir deserves.
He definitely does. What's up, Matt?
So the math is what? There's 25 categories, right? There's 15. Or no, there's.
There's
21.
bonus categories though.
Yeah. Well, there's 15 there, and then there's 6 on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So that's 21. So 100K divided by 21 ends up being 2014? Question mark.
I'm not. We don't math on stream. That's a rule.
Right,
I'm telling you right now.
You
that
know
it
math
doesn't. I've
on
done
stream.
No. It not only first place gets money. The way they did it in StarCraft
Okay,
2,
they did.
even last place got. Like last year, for last place, you got $50 just for making the list. Like,
Oh.
it's not just first place.
So there's
though.
hope for you still, Jake. All right, cool. Let's move on.
And well, I guess the point that we're trying to get to here is the fact that there's a little show called Town Hall on the community show list. So,
Hey, can we talk about the biggest thing here? That it's actually Town Hall Heroes and not Town Hall Alliance?
that's actually okay. So the reason that's a quote unquote big deal. Oops, wrong button. When
Why? Okay.
our badges at BlizzCon say Town Hall Alliance. Now
I was wondering why I saw like somebody posted Town Hall Alliance hype or something like that. I was
That was
like,
Matt.
that was Matt.
That was Matt.
Yeah, that's me.
I can't read.
And
It's not on here, but it accompanied these when we went to the thing.
right when we got our badges for the after party at PAX East. Town
gonna go
Hall
ahead.
Alliance. That was our first one episode we were known as Town Hall Alliance, but the thing is our email address is actually Town Hall
Jake,
Alliance.
I want to do something real quick.
Yes.
We have 700 viewers right now. If Town Hall Heroes wins the community show one, I will buy an Arthas costume and wear it on stream.
And I will have a mustache
Hey.
with you. A mustache with aviators. For a whole show.
For a whole show.
If
I
we
will
win
buy-
this category,
If we win this category, I will buy the Blizzard Arthas costume.
actually,
Jake will buy the Illidan one.
I'm looking at the costumes now.
So
You gotta
if
do
we
the
win-
Illidan one. You gotta do the Illidan one.
Okay.
It's like a skin tight, tiny little kids one.
What if I do a
can't
homemade
that
Tracer
one. I'll,
costume?
like- Oh, that Tracer one.
Hey Jared, there's a new Hearthstone wallet you can buy.
Really?
Jesus.
Dude, my Spider-Man one's so cool though. It's much better than the Twilight one, plebs. But yeah, there's the link in chat. I will buy it. Jake will do something else funky. Corey will grow his hair out. It'll be sick. It'll be sick.
Corey's just gonna show up with a fro. Just full on. Can't see the head.
We can do a lot
know.
of stupid things, but we can promise you shenanigans if we do win the category.
I won't pun.
Whoa!
No.
Let's keep expectations real.
You can hear like you can hear the just strain in his voice as he said it. He's like, I'll do this for you, stream.
I will do this for you.
Wait.
All right. I'll give it like a week. I'll not pun for an entire week.
Whoa.
That's insane.
That's even more unrealistic.
How are we gonna keep tracks on you in the real life?
I will wear a pun
Google
shock.
glasses, get them.
Okay,
Stream
Jared.
live.
Jared, take your pen back and write this down, please.
I don't. It's behind me on the floor, Corey. I can't.
Yo, Kubi, it's okay.
I tried.
Count it, bro.
Yes.
Oh,
You guys are failing so hard.
We're like, yes, I got.
Matt, can you believe these guys? Like,
I can't. Dude.
honestly-
That's awful. I don't know
honestly.
what's wrong with them.
Honestly.
We're so unprofessional. I don't even believe you right now.
There's so many. I need to get off the Gear website. I'm gonna buy everything. It's actually terrifying.
Stop it.
But yes, no, we would love it if you guys would vote for us, and that's going on. But we got some other things we can talk about. We can shift over to the esports talk because I know people want to hear about competitive heroes of the storm, the things that are happening.
What is that
Oh, sorry, did you like you don't like the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Why did you just start gorilla barking?
I thought you were like banned from impressions. Don't do movies either. Just stop. He went full Rhaegar.
He went full orc, boys.
Oh man.
I don't even know.
You know what Pirates of the
Anything
Caribbean,
will just
when
happen.
they're about to crucify someone, they all just start like,
What's happening?
What Pirates of the Caribbean do you watch where they crucify people?
you know, they're about to cut the chick's hand and drip her like put the blood on the coins. They all just start.
It's crucifying.
I have to mute myself.
I'm gonna throw up.
I get what
I'm
you're saying.
gonna
I
throw up.
remember the scene there in the cave and everything. I understand what you're saying, but oh man.
Yeah, they all just start like.
Stop doing. Just stop doing it. Okay.
Okay. All right, simmer down.
Typical
What?
Red Sox fans.
I don't even know
man.
what we were trying to segue to. Like where?
Esports. We were talking about esports. Oh my god, it's so warm now.
Yeah,
I'm dying.
that
I'm
was
Jared.
okay.
Jared. All right, let's
Never cease to impress.
Oh, okay. We are going to continue with the show. And Jared, since you did your primal dance, I'm going to make you wait for the topic you want,
All right.
Mr. Primal Dance. Now, can't actually see anything with those on. ESL playoffs. They're around the corner, and we're looking at the ESL Major League. Now, guys, ESL Major League, if you guys haven't been watching it, that's Tuesday and Thursday nights on twitch.tv/ESL_heroes. It's Tuesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. for America and 1 p.m. for Europe. That's Eastern Standard. But I don't know if that's actually changed because of daylight savings. The times might be an hour off from what I just told you. But, Matt, that's another story. Do you have an update on that?
The times I've set back all the times to normal, so it should be 8 p.m.
Good. Okay.
If the teams have scheduled something in advance for this week specifically,
Okay.
then it might still be pushed back an hour because that's not fair.
Right.
Uh,
right.
But if they haven't, then we'll do with that. I'm gonna do. a round
Kelax has
of-
won the raffle. Kelax can't win the raffle.
He just won the raffle. What do you want me to do?
You just skip
Skip
him.
him.
He doesn't need the key.
That's how-
Skip him.
that's
You don't give it to
how,
Kelax.
Giving him a key. He had entered the raffle. We didn't limit
Oh,
it to people who don't
gosh.
have keys.
All right.
Anyways, ESL stuff going on. Majors has probably one of the coolest storylines I've seen in an amateur
Yeah.
event.
In NA, you're talking about.
Yeah, NA. EU is actually pretty good too.
It is.
But NA specifically, which is what we handle over here, is really awesome. Like the race between who's going to actually get into playoffs and who isn't is super close. And the nice thing about playoffs is the second you get in, the second you manage those top 4 at the end of week 7, you're guaranteed money. So all this work that these teams have been doing, you're guaranteed money, and then you just play for more as you go forward. So that's awesome. There's already 2 teams that are definitely in, and there's 3 teams that are still fighting for those last 3 spots.
Isn't EG out no matter what?
EG is technically out now. Yes, I believe so.
Through relegations.
They're in
That's what,
relegation.
happened, that's what happened last night, wasn't it? EG
was-
lost the last match to
Maelstrom.
Cloud9 Maelstrom. So
Yeah.
they lost. So
Maelstrom.
they're out. Yeah.
And the reason that is because one of the teams in the league, previously Heroes-Hype, which became Synapses, which is now nothing, ended up disbanding, so their matches were forfeited out, and that was one of the last 2 games that EG had. So they were given an auto win for that, and that left them with 1 game, which was their do or die game. So
These
Well,
are
they-
the standings going into yesterday's games.
yesterday, yeah.
So this was
now
prior
it's-
to the result of Maelstrom defeating EG. So Maelstrom's now 3-3 and EG is 3-4. And I guess like the big point to make is the fact that the 2 teams that are tied at 3-3 now, Murlocs Inc. and Maelstrom, they play next week. So no matter what, one of those teams will be 4-3, which means EG will have a worse record than one of those teams no matter what.
Yep.
So it's kind of it's coming down to those teams. That match next Tuesday between Maelstrom and Murlocs is huge because, like you said, it's literally for money. The team that wins that match advances into Pro League, but there's a lot of money on the stakes. Just to, not Pro League, but to playoffs. But once you're in playoffs, you now have a huge opportunity to make a lot of money.
It's a 4.2k prize pool split among the teams.
Yeah.
I believe it goes 2-1 750 something like that. Maybe it's got to be less than that. I should know that. Anyways, it's on the webpage. You can check it out. But it's a sizable chunk of change that people have been working towards, and provided we get really good numbers, we might be seeing more money soon. So definitely trying to hype that up. Playoffs are going to be a blast, and you should definitely tune in on Thursday because there's gigantic matches happening already.
Oh, Barrel Boys Tempo Storm finally happening this Thursday.
Let's talk
That's
about 2ARC real quick. Who expected them to do this well in the league? They're 4-1. They beat Tempo Storm.
Right.
They beat Maelstrom. They beat Murlocs. They have not played.
The funny thing
Boys?
is one of their losses was against Heroes Hype, and now that Heroes Hype have retroactively turned into Synapses Gaming and been dropped out of the league, they got an extra life, if you will, and now it put them from 3-2 to 4-1, which is a massive difference when it comes down to it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like who would have expected going into this league 2ARC would be doing this well? I think they're like, it's just 1 match a week, but I don't think it's been like we haven't told a story about it. Like this is a good thing for them. They're playing better than they were the last 3 months, and their record shows it.
Yeah, without a doubt, they're definitely a contender going forward. And a lot of people see NA and they think either Tempo, Barrel, or Maelstrom, but C9's there to play. So that's going to be really, really intense when we actually get into playoffs.
Assuming that C9 advances over Murlocs, because it's going to be a tight race between those 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean that happens next Tuesday.
Yep.
So we'll see that. It's going to be the only set actually on Tuesday. So
Yes.
hoping it goes the distance, but we'll see what happens there. And like you said, Barrel Boys versus Tempo Storm is this Thursday coming up.
Hype!
And that is something, that's something that is, it's something that's been building for these last 6 weeks. And it's something that we've seen them square off against each other in other events. We've seen them play really good sets. and now it basically decides who's going to go in for first seed and who's going to go in for second. And,
Let me explain to you how important this
it's
match
gonna be
is on
scary.
our end, Tempo Storm's end. We're actually pretty close with Barrel Boys. We scrim them more than any other team. We did not scrim them at all this week. We are 100%, like, we take, this match is super serious for us. It's super serious for them. Like, you're talking about the hype building up to this match. It's hype behind the scenes as well. Like, we are looking to destroy Barrel Boys. They're looking to destroy us. This match, what is it, tomorrow, right? It's hype. It's going to be a good set. And I like Jake said, it determines who takes first place. I'm hyped, man. It's sick.
Okay, without spoiling any, but have you guys developed specific strategies for Barrel Boys, or are you just like trying to just go and play as hard as possible? No comment. All right, I like it. I like
Corey,
it.
Corey,
Yes.
come on, man.
Yes.
It's hype, though.
That
And
is hype. That is hype.
I
The non-answer is hype.
I'm excited. I really am. Yeah.
A lot of
This is
things
one of
coming
those-
to an end, and just kind of giving everyone the update onto what's going on for the other esports. So that's what's going on with ESL. Playoffs happen on the 28th.
Yes, 28th and 29th.
So there's like a week off between playoffs. This weekend is the bracket for Ding It. So we've got our 8 teams lined up. Jared and I will be casting starting Friday. The round of 8 is Friday. So all of the matches in the round of 8 will be streamed. So every single match happens one at a time, and we stream them. The games will be played live. That's happening all day Friday. That's on dingy.tv/solidjiggg. And then Saturday is round of 4. But also happening on Saturday is Gosu Cup. That starts very early. That starts 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Of course, being hosted in EU. And then we have that, and then it's the Heroes or the Kings Monthly. So Saturday
Did we
is.
talk about Ghost Cup yet? Like last
No.
week?
Mm.
I don't think we
No.
did.
We didn't?
I don't think we did.
Okay,
We
so let's
should
talk
write
about it. Yeah.
$18,000 in tournaments spread across 3 of them.
3 seasons,
The first cup is $3,000. Second cup is $5,000, and the last one, which is June and July, $10,000. That is the
A lot of
biggest
money.
prize pool we've seen, right? Like
Yeah.
hands down.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
That is insane. It is on the EU servers, but NA teams are allowed to compete in them.
Yep.
And it goes beyond just prize money for prize pool. Like, you get gear as well. First place gets Rockhat headsets and mice. Rocat, sorry. Second place get Rocat, nice, and mouse pad, and then third place gets all 3 of them get the money, and then of course the gear as well. It's a hype. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. Like how much they're putting into like just the prizing for this, and it's top 3 too. It's not top heavy. It's like number 1, like most tournaments tend to be. It's top 3, which is sick.
Do we know
What?
anything about casting or like who's doing that or what? I don't think I've heard
It's got to be
anything about that.
Caldor. It's probably
Yeah,
Caldor.
so I figured as much.
They asked us to do it.
Yeah.
They reached out, and obviously that
Yeah.
I opted to go with ESL instead,
Yeah.
and so we'll see. They have not made an announcement at this point in time though, and it's happening this weekend, so we will find out very soon.
Yeah, I guess so. Cool. I'm excited.
It's the big build-up qualifier style too. Like for those of you that watched StarCraft 2, the Team Liquid Star League, that had this huge build-up where there's qualifiers, people qualifying over time, and then they get this one big tournament at the end. That's kind of how they're doing them. There's 4 qualifiers for the first one. They happen the next 4 Saturdays, I believe, and only top 2, first and second place, qualify for the first cup, the $3,000 invitational or tournament at the end. So there's a lot of hype building up to it. Only the best of the best are going to make it to it. It's not going to be this giant 32-man bracket. It's going to be 8 teams at the end.
Here's the
playing
thing.
for that $3,000.
Here's the thing: you're talking $3,000 for that. Ding It has $1,600 in it, and then Kings. I don't know what the pricing is for Kings this one. I know it's at least $250, but the number of events and the way they're kind of staggered throughout the day. This is going to be like the first time I think we have teams that actually try to do multiple events in a single day. It's going to be interesting seeing that pan out because, like we said, this is an EU event, so it starts very early.
Yeah.
And
Saturdays are getting crowded. I'm going to go ahead and start down.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Saturdays, or not Saturdays, but for the Ghost Cup qualifiers, Temple Storm's going to be playing in as many as we can to qualify.
Yeah.
We're going for that big prize money, man.
I think Gosu is going to be the one that you have like a lot of teams are going to want to play in on Saturday.
That's
Only
so,
8 teams too, man.
so what's the future of Kings, Matthew? Putting you on the
Oh,
spot.
I don't know yet. But
This guy is
oh,
pressing
man,
Jake.
I can.
Thanks.
All right, no,
Thanks,
I'll,
Jake.
I'll hold my segue until after this mini discussion here. The future of Kings is likely just because the prize pool. Like I'm funding Kings out of my
Right.
pocket,
It's coming out of your
so
pocket.
the prize pool isn't worth trying to conflict with other events because it doesn't help.
You're
anyone.
paying money to.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't like it's my money, but whatever. Like that's not even a thing.
My
I'm
money,
not.
and I
I'm
want it
not.
now.
Yeah. You Wentworth. What's up? Like it's not a matter of me losing money because I'm always losing money whenever I put money in. I don't make money out of the events. It's just try to give a little offset for the teams that are playing. So I don't know. It might end up switching over to be more of either an amateur cup or something. I'm
like
slowly working with a bunch of people to try to set up a very large event that offers kind of a multi-cup invitational that
Cool.
happens. So that's in the works. We'll see what happens with it. I'm not sure, but I think I'm done with that. Yeah, CBGC. What's up, Brock? The thing that I wanted to segue was people saying that things didn't clash on Saturdays and that teams were trying to play multiple things. Well, guess where that actually happened when we had HPL and Kings, and that existed, and teams tried to play in both, but HPL didn't let them. So it's happened before, and now we're seeing it again. Only people are actually going to be able to play in multiple events if they want to, but we'll see how strict the tournament admins are for each event. So.
All right, Jared, start your ape grunting.
Remember, you guys remember that conversation we had about Kev's plane like coming to crash, but no one got hurt? Let's talk about a crash that just destroyed everything, man. Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
Okay, so HPL made an announcement today that they're canceling season 2. You know, the bunch of teams dropped out. The format wasn't the best for that. And they're going to be announcing something called Arena. That's got a cool point system. It's going to have the same prize pool. The prize pool is being transferred over. It's really cool. Then you get to the... this is what Kevin said. Kevin, I'm going to go ahead and quote. You said, "You were happy with the post until you got to the CEO message at the end."
Yeah. And I can just run on that real quick. I mean, the post in general was really nice. It was just like, it seemed like the format that we went for really kind of didn't work out. So we're going to go with the new format. And it was like kind of like that whole entire post up until the CEO note from Pride was like, cool, you know what? We made a mistake. We learned from it. We're going to go to a new thing. And then you read Pride's letter, which kind of just backtracked a lot of what happened on the... No, let's not read it like live, because this isn't like an epic reading or anything. I mean, I could if I really wanted to.
It could be.
Could be. I take this time to apologize. No. But there was a couple sentences in there that I think I, along with many other people, were like, what? In which he basically said that teams have disrespected the fans, other teams, and everyone involved in esports by making commitments that they could not keep. Which basically is blaming the teams that have zero sponsors for not wanting to stay in a tournament that, granted, money at this point really shouldn't be like a huge thing, but it wasn't like a ton of money or anything, and wasn't really like, there was a lot of issues in terms of scheduling that happened as well, so it just kind of became, I guess, rough for a lot of those teams to really kind of deal with it, as well as just the fact that, just basic team mechanics where you start getting in arguments with people, like...
Yeah.
Like, Town Hall, we all seem to act really well, but put me and Jake in a team on Heroes, and we just start arguing like crazy. So it's
do that for 13 weeks too.
Do that for 13 weeks. So it kind of got really. It seems like it got really rough for a lot of teams. They broke up and whatnot, and that sucks. Nobody likes to be in a breakup.
His frustrating.
When I broke up with Soya, I got really, I was dead for like months.
So I think
it's not cool. It's not fair to blame those teams for why that tournament failed.
I think really what it boils down to is the same kind of thing with like the way I formatted Ding It. Is his frustration, I understand, but his format is the problem. It is far too early to do a format like that to be viable in this community. And I got frustrated when a lot of teams dropped out of Ding It. It's like, look, this tournament is 5 weeks long, and I had 3-4 teams disband during that. That was frustrating. There's no denying it. But
I think it was 16 teams total.
But his event is also like 13 weeks long. Like, he's trying to do what Riot does for a game that is not only established, but hey, our game's in beta. Like, so it's I learned the hard way that in trying to invite 16 teams in North America for Ding It, way too many teams. We don't actually have 16 stable teams. We're not even close.
Ding it, Bobby.
So maybe what makes more sense is to do something smaller, and you do like 8 teams that have a group stage, and you do like more of a round robin. I guess similar to like ESL only has 8 teams, so it's working. And y'all see Steve did do the formatting for that, and
no. So the thing with HPL that kind of stood out to me the whole time was season 1 wasn't an atrocity. It wasn't amazing by any standards, but it wasn't what it is right now, which is apparently now nothing. But it seemed like what happened was Pride got a taste of season 1 working out when a lot of people were kind of naysaying it. Everyone was saying that leagues wouldn't work. There's no way teams can stay together. And granted, even at that time, we didn't have customs when HPL started. We had to queue up against each other in thing. Like, there was days where it's like, oh well, that match gets nullified because they couldn't hit each other in quick match.
Yeah.
So I mean that
True.
all that stuff went down, everything happened, and then it was like, okay, cool, now we have quick match, or now we have custom games. We can actually make a real league, and then we can move forward with this. And I think the oversight on his part was he wanted to expand too fast, and because he did end up getting whatever prizing he got, and it was generally larger than anything we'd seen thus far, he thought that would carry him forward, which, again, pretty reasonable assumption, except for the fact that it didn't happen for like 3 months. Like, season 1 ended, and then HPL just sort of fizzled, and it just didn't do anything for a little bit. And then qualifiers came out, and they were run against my events, which was weird, but like they were just kind of just thrown out there, and then they lasted for a really long time. And then they tried to expand into multiple regions as well, and they diversified the prize pool across multiple regions.
That's something I wanted to bring up with you. What do you think? They just the expanding in one region? Yeah, that's already a lot. But do you think that that was kind of like the nail in the coffin, trying to go to Oceanic and Asia? Like NAEU, that's hard enough.
Yeah, the Oceanic and Asia was really weird, especially considering Oceanic only has about 4 teams right now, anyways, maybe 6 at this point. So. I mean, I guess in some regards that would be the most successful region, because chances are those teams aren't going to break apart really easily, or at least you have less of a chance. But even then, unless you have a really good staff behind you, it's not going to be it's not going to work. Yep. And the staff that worked with HPL, they were around for a little bit. I got to deal with them. Some of them were really nice people. Some of them were not so much, but they were still professional enough that we could deal with them. And even those people kind of threw their hands in the air and walked away. And it's like, okay, so you're hemorrhaging people, you're hemorrhaging staff, and you're expanding. Like, I don't know if you ever played StarCraft. That's not how this works. Like, you have to have an econ to expand. It's
those Hellions, they got in your base and you didn't notice.
And it was just like it was all these red flags that were happening. And I mean, I'm in a delicate position because I can't say too much because of. It's a competitor for me, so I don't want to I don't want to go out and bash him. I understand the thought process that he went through, that how everything kind of transpired to the point where they were, and I appreciate the effort. But like you guys kind of said, it's too much too fast without enough foresight that would prepare for it. Maybe in another year he can come back and try it, and it might work. But
I mean, we have 2 brand new tournament organizers here, Kevin and Jake. Well, like, Jake's done Smash in the past, but like they start these tournaments.
Let me tell you. Let me just preface this: running a Smash tournament, which is you're dealing with a player, you call their name in a live event, and you announce their station. If they're not there, you disqualify them. Okay. It's very different, and being strict works. It's a different mentality where you're just hard. You do it online, you're not there in person. You can't just disqualify teams online. I would be so happy if I had a very easy way. Just say, if your team is not ready by this start time, you have 2 minutes until you lose game 1. You have 5 minutes until you lose game 2. Because honestly, the mages DQ rule. Corey and I, that was our clan, was the mages, and we became famous for running well-ran tournaments that happened in a timely manner. And let me tell you, if an event runs long, it's not the tournament admin's fault. It's the players' fault, because they like to go away, they like to AFK, whatever, and it's hard to enforce that. So I found that out the hard way. Enforcing online events is damn near impossible. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Well,
Wait, before we go forward. Wait, because Jake's going to get in so much trouble.
Good.
What he just said there about it being the player's fault, not the tournament organizer's fault.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna...
it has merit to it, so don't like take it at pure face value.
Right.
But what he's saying is that there are people that will play games, especially online, and they'll be like, "Can we get like 1 or 2 minutes for a bathroom break?" But then they actually end up taking 5.
I guess
so
by saying it as blankly as I did, so thank you for calling me out on that, because I did say it very flatly. There are definitely situations where the admins are at fault too. It does happen, of course.
It goes all over the place.
Yes.
It requires everyone to be in on it, and when you get new players, especially on online events, things happen. So you need a little bit of leeway, and you also need to be strict. It's a tough balance, but okay, I'm done.
by the way, Jake and Kevin can both say that they've learned something from these events they've done. They're going to go, like, look at Kevin's event. He's doing a new one. It's a much better format. It's got better rules. He's improving off of it. Pride can do the same thing. You know, we're, like, you know, we just bash on the format and stuff.
But that's let me just cut you off right there, because he is. He already, like, they already admitted that this HPL isn't working, and that's why I'm not like sitting here like oh man, all these previous HPLs, they were terrible.
No,
I'm just saying he noticed everything. The only thing I have a problem with this entire announcement is just that letter where you're blaming the teams.
That's what I was going
I can understand so much. Sorry, I think for cutting you off. Go ahead, babe.
Well, that's exactly where I was going. You know, we learn from our mistakes. You know, Town Hall has grown, tournaments have grown. Kings of the Storm has changed 100 times when it's gotten to a great point. You know, and that's where we expect Pride to go with it as well. But that cop out at the end, we're like, you know what? It wasn't really our fault. We blame the teams.
Right.
That is the problem here. Like, you know, it was a terrible format. Everyone learns from that. Like, he's designed something much better already. But the blaming of the teams, like, you don't control that. Like, no one had, like, look, let's talk about our friends over at Heroes Hypes and then Synapsis. None of them had malicious intent towards HPL.
Right.
Their team disbanded.
Situations change. One of their players gets picked up by another team, then they have to
read that and they're like, we disrespected the community, the teams, the organizations. We didn't.
Wait. Oh man. So I wasn't gonna pop off at HPL, but I'm going to now.
Oh yeah.
Shots fired.
Exactly,
we need like gunshot sound effects.
With someone that eventually got involved with that team and everything. So when season 2 started, Clairvoyant Gaming was a team that existed, right?
Oh gosh.
And then the roster wanted to change, you know, do whatever, and basically a dispute happened internally in the team, and then it got brought to the HPL admins. And the decision the HPL admins made was let the manager keep the team and make the players requalify, which was probably the strangest thing I've ever heard in my life. When a team's not under contract,
right?
If it's like, if they've signed something on, then it's like, okay, yeah, it's I mean, that company owns that team. They could easily just gut the whole team and then move on. But like that happened, and then to flip it back around and say like, oh, well, we didn't have teams, is like, then what the hell were you doing kicking the team out of your event if you're gonna say you didn't have teams? Like, what kind of logic does that bring up? And I mean, that was something that happened, and it was a just gigantic red flag for me. But they managed to stay afloat until now. So
yeah, I mean, they're not done. They're not done. They've just changed their format.
Yeah, that's another thing that like there's really big errors in their judgment that I've seen over time, and I hope they get fixed, because
they're learning, and it's kind of like I mean, I admit it. I screwed up with the ding it format. You know, I understand the frustrating of teams disbanding, and you have this grand idea, but there are complications, and sometimes you just need to have more of a contingency in terms of like maybe the format needs to be tuned down because of X factors, and that's exactly what he's doing with the HPL Arena. He's going to allow for more flexibility, which is exactly what I think is the right call, and I think he'll be way more successful with that. So looking forward to see what Pride can do. And I just want to backpedal a little bit. My venting is just my venting about tournament stuff, tournament running. I will never be an admin for Heroes. That is not at all what I aspire to be. I did
Let me tell you about adminning ESL this weekend, Matt. You are not leaving ever again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Matt does a good job.
Whew.
Matt does a good job. Yeah, Jared had to admin. It's hard. It's hard. It's very hard, especially when you're dealing with you're yelling at like 5 different people, and the means of communication is like kind of Skype, kind of BattleNet, kind of like special group calls. There's no like system built in. In person, I guess I was expecting it to be way easier when I did it. It's like, well, I've ran millions of Smash tournaments, and we were known for doing it, and so different in person. And so I ran MLGs with for StarCraft. Like it's in person, so it's a very different ballgame. But I think that kind of covers that topic in terms of HPL. Like we said, we got Ding It, and then Kev, you got something coming up soon too.
Yeah, we just announced it last night because I finally got approval. So it seems like MLG was pretty happy with the first Titan Arena, and I think everybody in the community was pretty happy with what happened with the first Titan Arena. So we're doing it again. Co-caster's still in the works, talking to a couple of people, but we're going to do 2 days this time.
Jake, what was that dumb face you just made?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Do it again.
Anyway, yeah, so it's going to be 2 days this time. Of course, same prize pool, which, if 2 days time stretching out the prize pool from yesterday or last time, which was only a single day. So that's kind of less fortunate, I guess, for players. But I feel like it's going to be a better viewer experience. Of course, it's going to be not on this streaming
it's going to be on that logo on his face right there.
Yeah, it's going to be, so follow Twitter for seeing where that's going to be, of course. But,
it's going to be on MLG TV. You can say it. Jesus Christ.
We were on the front page of Twitch. I didn't want to be like, Twitch.
Well, it's your event, dude. I mean, you're working.
Anyway. But yeah, so it's going to be on MLG TV. It's going to be on my channel on there. And I'm pretty excited for it. Now, the admins I had last time, I think I'm going to be reaching out to them again because, god damn it, they ran a good tournament. Like, there was not a single issue. Like, I was sitting here with Skype on my laptop, and I was like, I'm expecting to deal so much admin things while doing this because I feel like they're just going to keep coming back to me. I had Shane Gucher and Yumamoto. Yumamoto is a guy from New York who apparently is pretty cool. They ran the tournament perfectly. They were
great.
like, it was awesome. It was like autonomous. In fact, our tournament ran too fast. I tried to slow it down. It turned into a 13-hour broadcast. So I'm like, all right, we're going to take the same thing. We're going to just split it up into 2 days. So it's going to be pretty cool.
I think that's smart because the 13-hour cast is nothing anybody wants to do. The production value, the casting quality, and the game quality goes down because the teams get exhausted. So fatigue comes into play. So it's probably a good call. And you made some format changes, too, in terms of like the way drafting works, right?
We did. We changed, so I got a lot of feedback from Shots Fired episode last week.
I enjoy the Reddit comments stating that you didn't give into the shots fired of me bashing your tournament name.
Because last night, I was listening, buddy. I was listening to ESL, and you're like, oh yeah, Barrel Boys and Murlocs Inc., the two titans of the... And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And then HPL Arena. HPL... What? Arena? Oh, man, these guys are liking these words. That's weird, because I already put them together and made Titan Arena.
Matt said something interesting to me. What's that game Blizzard was going to make that they abandoned because it was terrible?
Project Titan.
Oh, wow. Yeah, woo.
Wow. Oof. Okay. Yeah, Project Titan. Except this one actually launched. But yeah, so it's going to be... I'm really excited for it. I'm hoping we can draw a lot of viewers and, of course, just bringing in another aspect, another tournament organizer who's willing to sponsor more teams. More viewers equals more sponsored tournaments. I'm hoping to do these once a month if I can. So, we need to start getting a lot of viewers and whatnot, and that's all I'm kind of hoping to draw in the next 2 weeks. But the cap for this tournament, I opened it up to 64. We're already up to 20 teams, and I announced it 24 hours ago.
And it's open to EU.
It's open international as long as you play NA servers. So
you got to have an NA
account. That was an
account.
issue with Fnatic last time, and I really apologize for the botching of those rules, especially to Fnatic because they were really gunning to play, and I was just like I kind of just wanted to have NA teams. But this time I was like, you know what? Why even have that? Why have just NA teams? Let's just have everybody.
You think that's going to become a common rule for tournament admins? Because I think the community is looking, especially since it's still kind of small, global is kind of the appeal. If we look at tournament broadcast statistics, whenever Tempo Storm goes to Europe, that's when the viewership spikes for those events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I have a problem with, though, Kevin? Your first Titan Arena, Tempo Storm didn't win it, so I'm gonna go ahead and say Tempo Storm, we're gonna dominate this next Titan Arena, putting it on the line. And if we don't win, I'll buy an Arthur suit.
That's like your contingency for everything.
I do.
You are this.
I don't
first-
think your salary covers that.
That's a nice thing to be upset about. I guess the only thing I can say is just step it up.
Oh snap!
Wrecked.
No, I would be really excited because we're going to be doing best of fives, semifinals, best of fives, third place match, best of fives, finals. So it's going to be
That's awesome.
a lot of games on Sunday. I'm really excited for, and we just redid a lot of the MLG TV stuff. So full screen, or not full screen, but widescreen, all that stuff. So it's going to be, I hope, a lot better.
Game cataloging, yeah, I saw that.
So yeah, cool.
Still full of Call of Duty filth though. Gotta fire that shot. Shots fired.
I get it. I get it. Funny joke.
Oh,
Gun game.
Good game. Shots fired.
First person shots fired.
Gorilla.
I-
Okay. What else we got? That's a good esports recap. I of course was at PAX, so I didn't see any of the games this weekend. Anything interesting happen while we were away?
I heard Tempo Storm got wrecked.
Oh,
Same.
versus
Yeah.
Dignitas. Yeah, that was the one thing that was tweeted at me. They're like, watch Temple Storm get wrecked. I was like, oh, okay.
It's
you
like,
guys
oh,
know we were
thanks.
talking during it, and my mom started yelling at me, and I had to go.
Oh
What does
yeah.
that have to do?
We were
with-
talking during that game.
How could I forget that?
Oh, that's right.
They
Did
had
she
a
yell at
sick...
you for the water bottles?
No, I had to go get an eye doctor exam.
Oh.
Get new glasses.
Eyes.
Eyes, they're the worst.
Who needs
That was a good. Dignitas played really well. They got really quick early momentum, and then they snowballed it out of control, and it did not stop. There were, of course, misplays on our end, which we'll own them. But Dignitas played. Oof, they wrecked us. I think that goes back to the best of one format, though. One day, ESO weeklies will have best of threes.
Nope, that will actually never happen.
Please,
I will tell you right now. That will
please, Matt.
Just roll. It just won't. That's
Hey, you got stuff
ESL
like-
weeklies have literally never had best of threes in any game
Yeah.
they've ever played ever.
Doesn't make
Maybe
sense.
Hearthstone is the exception. Maybe.
Well, Jared, that's what Go To Cup's for, right? The other events that are going to be global, MLG Titan Arena, and that's again, it's global.
Alternatively, Tempo Storm could just start hosting invitationals, cough, and we
Oh,
could
we're
have
going
that
to-
happen.
Yeah, we're going.
That could happen.
Man, wouldn't that be really funny when they start losing those too?
Hey,
Wow.
TSM did.
Hey.
That's what TSM did. Like, hey, let's go host these. Okay, we're gonna stop playing them because we lose, but they're still gonna be called TSM invitations.
You know, at least I don't have to host my own events to start casting things. So.
Boom! Boom!
Wow. Let me just get into my my turret seat.
God! Jeez!
Yeah. Should just
That was a good
everybody.
one.
should,
You know what? I can't even be angry at that one. That was good. Damn, that was good.
Just got shot out of the sky, son.
I just, dude,
Just got
there's
shot. Kubi is like
Fuck that,
pacing.
it just-
Kubi is pacing with how good that was. He's like, oh yeah. That
Yo,
was,
look
that
at
was
those Jack's
good.
muscles. He's getting all flexed.
Ah.
He's getting tight.
Soon I will be Kaldor. Soon I will evolve. That's what he's thinking.
It's like,
Oh,
Damn, that was good.
oh, he blew his candle out because he
blew the
says the
candle
show is
out.
over.
I'm done.
Oh my God, it's 10:50.
Yeah, that's 1050. I think you guys should furnish everyone with Overwatch glasses. Shots fired, you have
So
action.
I guess no Kubi's questions tonight because wow, that was actually ridiculous. Unless we want to extend the show, you guys want to extend the show? It's your call, Coops.
Nope.
You know why? Because he didn't come up with anything for questions.
Oh!
He's got
Shut
nothing.
I'm going.
Alright. Sure you do.
But we do have some
Believe it when I hear it.
Reddit questions. We don't have enough time.
No, we don't have time for that
I,
even.
one of them
We either
have
extend
answers.
or
Nah.
Can't extend by like 20 minutes.
No.
oh.
Who's got work
Um,
tomorrow?
Okay.
Jeez.
Well,
does
that
that?
was a very interesting discussion
I
on
like
esports.
shows like this one.
I love it.
I am very sad that there were no Kubi's questions. So Kubi, you've been very quiet. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts on what exactly?
Whatever you want to talk about, my love.
Cool.
Quickly tell us your opinions on the HPL thing, because you didn't really.
Kevin is afraid.
My thoughts on the HPL thing. I mean, you guys covered it pretty well. I mean, it sounds very neutral, but yeah, that what they said at the end is just it's not PC. It's not how you should be addressing the community if you're looking to have that stake as like neutral tournament admins that aren't just bashing people. So don't do that, kids. That's not the way to go.
Yeah.
Grandpa Kubi
And-
plays up well.
Papa Steve and Grandpa Coobs.
Yep.
All right, shoutouts. Zoloff.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of links I am posting in chat. But first, let's just talk about Temple Storm. We're awesome. Make sure you follow us at Temple Storm on Twitter, as well as all of our players on Twitter as well. We compete in tournaments weekly, and we currently, as far as it's that site that they do the drafting on, Stormcraft's ranking tool. We are the ranked #1 team in the world based off tournament results. So we are pretty cool. Results. There's a bunch of little community voting things. I'm going to post all 3 of them in the chat, so you guys, if you haven't seen them, make sure you guys vote for Town Hall Heroes. You vote for either me or Jake in the favorite hero streamer one. Probably Jake, because he's got a chance at winning it, because he actually is a good streamer. And vote for Soldier in the most educational hero stream, because that guy is, in my opinion, the smartest Heroes of the Storm player, hands down. I could talk to that guy about theory crafting for hours. The guy is actually brilliant. So make sure you guys go and do that. And that's Ding It this Friday and Saturday.
Jared,
And
you didn't plug your new roster page.
oh, yeah, the new roster page. Thanks, Jake. Posting that in chat as well. And then the other 2 polls. But make sure you guys vote for some Town Hall Heroes, because we're awesome. And that's my plugs. That's my...
Yeah, you're gonna zoom in on Jared's. This is happening.
Yeah.
So what exactly were you saying?
Oh no, it shrunk.
That happened.
No.
What was I
Responsive
saying?
web design. That's how it works. Were you in the process of saying shots fired? Looks like it.
Dude,
What just
what?
happened?
I don't know what's going on.
Jared's not
Oh,
looking
that's
at my
from-
webcam.
What was that from? That was
That was Gigabyte Esports Land.
Gigabyte Esports, yeah. Long time ago.
Long time. That was 2002. It's the only good picture I have of myself, because I'm generally an ugly
Did you say
bastard.
2002?
2012.
Okay.
All right.
What?
Not 2002.
All right, Mr.
Sometimes
Miss-
cast when you're like 10.
Moving down the line, see you,
Isn't he
Steve, my
still
friend.
10?
How old do you think I am?
Happy birthday.
Stop,
It's Jared's birthday today.
Got it.
Matthew.
Am I
Shout
signing
outs.
off? Okay. Shout outs to pretty much everyone we met at PAX. That was really cool. So thank you if you came up to me and like shook my hand. That was awesome. Shout outs to I don't even know everything. I guess mini announcement. I've finally started putting what are they called? Team flares
Oscar?
on. No,
Where's the town hall one?
I said team flares, not awful podcast flares.
Whoa!
All
All right, Matt. See you later.
Maybe if you win the podcast thing for Blizzard, then I'll give you a flare. Maybe.
Yay.
We'll think about it. If I see Jared in a suit thing someday, he'll get one too.
I was
but
hoping
so-
that wasn't going to be suit.
So team flares are out. They're coming. We have Tempo, SK, Fnatic. C9 will be on its way. I think Barrel Boys is coming as well. I'm not sure. 2ARC probably will be up there as well. Trying to aim for like the top 8 teams in the world in regards to ESL playoffs, basically the 4 and 4, because that's kind of the only hard measurement we have. That it'll obviously expand, so don't worry if your team's not on there. It'll get there. So that's that. Thanks for having me on. It's been a while. I like being here.
Always a pleasure, dude.
And yeah, at CS Steve, that's my thing. I streamed like once in the last month, so
Follow my Twitter.
that was fun grinding some Hero League. But yeah, check out the Reddit. If you're a free agent, hit me up. We just redid that, so trying to get more people into more teams, funneling them in, getting you into the amateur events, getting you into ESLs. It's really cool. Electra, I'll answer that question in chat in a second. So, thanks for your time. I'm out.
Mr. Shambam.
So of course I have a couple of things to announce. Of course is going to be number 1, Titan Arena 2. Open registration. Do yourself the favors. Just find 5 people. Practice for the next week or so. Sign up. Go for it. It's gonna be fun. I'm really hoping to get good amount of that 64 bracket filled up. Second thing is, and it does kind of conflict with the scheduling of tomorrow, but I am running a show on MLG as well with Milk Tea from the Smash scene. We're looking for a different crowd, so it should not be interceding with if you're watching ESL. but we're going to be doing a tutorial type show where she's going to be asking very basic questions because she's just getting into the game. And I'm going to be answering and talking about Heroes of Storm and kind of being like a tutorial type of thing. But if you can't catch it, that's okay. It's going to be on youtube.com/sham2, SCHAMTOO. So if you want to watch ESL, go for it. You can always catch those VODs later on. That's about it. Follow me on twitter.com/SCHAMTOO, Sham2.
Fun fact, Milk Tea was my first friend in the Smash community. Known her longer than I've known Kubi. Kubi.
That's not true.
It is true.
That's not true. It's impossible.
Some time ago.
Some time
All right.
ago.
Shout out to me. Let's see. Tomorrow we're going to be casting. Actually, Matt, I'm going to throw this to you real quick. Do we know the times? Can we announce that?
Just say 8, and if you're
8
wrong,
o'clock?
that's on
Okay.
you.
Okay, that's the best way to go through life. Just make brash statements and then reap the consequences.
Hey
later.
man, sometimes you gotta blame the community.
I haven't been reading chats or the times changed, because if so, I gotta change some schedule things that my team might be playing.
So what
Okay.
happened was the daylight savings time
Oh.
messed up the
I don't do that in Europe.
ESL stuff. Yeah. We actually planned for it, but the code that we had just didn't do it.
Rip.
Oh, I see.
So it just sort of sat there with the extra hour, and it was like, oh, that's awkward. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be at 8 tomorrow then.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
just-
the plan.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll shoot for that. 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. I think we're starting off with Lunatic versus Tuark.
Yes.
And then at 10 p.m. Eastern, possibly sooner, depending on how quick those matches go. It's going to be the hype one, Tempo Storm versus Barrel Boys.
Big match.
That's a big story in the making. Let's see what else. Oh, that's of course going to be over on twitch.tv/ESL_heroes. Next week is going to be the final week of ESL before we go into a bit of a break before relegation and playoffs. So of course that's going to be hype as well. Maelstrom and Murlocs Inc. will be playing for that sweet 4th spot in the playoff bracket. Other than that, no, I think that's it. Follow me at the Kubi. That's it for me.
All right, you guys pretty much covered everything. I just want to give a quick little shout out to Blizzard for the cool stuff they did with us at PAX. It was just a privilege to go to the VIP party, to try out Black Rock Mountain, and just kind of meet the devs, hang out with the community management team. That was awesome. And the other shout out to Twitch, because they actually hooked ESL Heroes, our channel where we do the Major League, up with Front Page. And last week we broke 6,000 viewers on Thursday on our stream. So breaking 6,000 viewers for Heroes, and they stayed. We never dipped below like 4,800. Like, it was
Awesome.
by far the most consistent long broadcast. We're just steady viewership. So getting Front Page on Twitch is a really big deal for that kind of stuff, because getting it for Town Hall is amazing. They give us Front Page for Town Hall all the time, but this is more of a niche. It's harder to like tune into a show when you don't understand what we're actually talking about. But for a competitive game, they can look at the game and understand the game and get into it. So it's really big for 6,500. Mr. Nix is saying. I actually didn't look at the analytics. I should check that out. But he's saying 6,500 is what he saw. I'll get a hard number and tweet it out today when I look at the analytics. But it's huge, and it's helping us grow, and that's the kind of stuff we need to move forward with this community as if we want to grow it rapidly. So thanks to Twitch, thanks to Blizzard for continuing to support us, and of course ESL for giving us the event to cast. And big shout out to organizations like MLG and Gosu Gamers getting involved with competitive hero stuff too. And if you can't, HPL too, can't count them out. They're doing stuff with the new HPL arena, so cool stuff there. Pushing forward with competitive heroes, lots to come in the future. That does it for episode number 54. My beautiful nerds, I love all of you. And until next time, that's us signing out.
Kev, pound it.
I did it right. What are you talking about?
I was like, yeah.
Oh, okay.